Yeah. Y'all ready to go? Y'all ready to kick it? Y'all ready to talk a little bit? Hit that like button. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So that was fast. Today we're gonna tell you how this thing all works, man. You know, I kind of already broke it down for y'all. I think if y'all was watching Ultimate Browns, if you seen that episode, I kind of broke it down for you yesterday about what's going on and how this thing moves and all that good stuff. So, but today, I'm going to delve a little deeper. Today, I'm going to really give you some insight. I'm going to really, I'm going to really give you some insight. And today, what I want to do is I want to talk about society. I want to talk about, we're going to get really into some civics. We're really going to get into, I wouldn't even say politics. I'm just to get into to how our society, our capitalistic society works. I'm going to talk about elitism. I'm going to talk about a lot of these different things and these different concepts. And one of the reasons that I break these scenarios down and I talk to it and I break it, I like to come from I would say a more of a scholarly level, because if I don't come at it like this, people won't understand. People won't understand just how deep it runs and how crazy it is that the undertows is. And I think it's very important because we had another example of this last week of the echo chamber and what exactly that echo chamber is supposed to do. We're going to talk about what's the objective, what is the principles of it, and we're going to tell you why this stuff happens. And it's devious a little bit. It's kind of crazy because it's not about whether these stories are correct or true. This is more of a dissertation and critique on how you go about getting your information and why it's very important in today's dates and today's time frames that you really lock in and understand what it is. Because, I mean, they was trying to get people up out of here, right? I look at it like this. I think they was trying to get Shiloh up out of here. Todd Monken really didn't take the bait. So it was kind of like, okay, let's just let that ride out. Right? Always remember that people will say something and then watch how you react. And then it was you. I'm gonna keep it, like, I'm gonna start my conversation off like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, I play right down the middle. I'm calling balls and strikes in this one. If you don't want nobody mentioning your name, don't mention their name. Just what I'm saying. Back last year, they pulled them receipts, and it was a fact. They was talking about Shedeur. They mentioned Shiloh's name. Where I come from, if you mention a person's name, you got to take what come with it. Don't throw no rocks, hide your hand, and then say, "Oh, I can't believe you said that." Nah, didn't you? And the context of it was talking about Shiloh in terms of, he need to learn his playbook somewhere with Shiloh. Wrong. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. See, that's when you cross over, you got to come with it, what expect with it. So now a year later, he said what he said. Now you can ask me if I would have said something like that, or if I would have got out. That ain't me. I didn't make the decision. That was that. But like Todd Monken said, that's a grown man having a conversation with somebody on social media. So at the end of the day, I want to start off with that premise right now, so we get that out the way. We you can't mention a person's name. You cannot mention a person's name and then expect them to. He had nothing to do with it. He was minding his own business. Now, how he take it and move with it, that's on him. But let's get that out the way right now. Because I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, I do remember that. That was last summer. I do remember that. So, but we're going to piggyback onto that. We're going to get to this as well. We're going to break this all the way down. Guys, trust me. Really, this is orchestrated. Y'all got to understand something. Y'all got to understand something. These guys is not, when I say my colleagues, this is why I talk about politics all the time. Because when you study politics, you understand there's Republicans and there's Democrats. There's conservatives, then there's liberals. There's independents, there's blue states, there's red states, there's purple states. There's libertarians. Everybody is on a spectrum, right? But the one thing that you can't deny is when it come down to voting, and when it come down to voting, when it comes down to the lowest common denominator, oh no, we will vote together on everything that we trying to get done. It's only a couple of y'all. I'm going to tell you why these articles come out, and I tell you why it's getting so inflammatory. It ain't got nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders. It got something to do with these views, and it got something to do with y'all. We'll come back and explain it right here on the fastest, greatest, epic, the dopest show in the world on Saturday morning. You already know what it is. Get your coffee ready. We gonna do some talking today. I ain't even got no lower thirds today. I want the screen clear today. We're gonna cook on the barbershop. Welcome on into the barbershop. You already know. Yeah, we already know what's going on. You know, I wanted to come on here today and say that was quick. Todd Monken pulled up on 92.3 The Fan. I'm glad y'all put that out too. Y'all was taking a little long. Shout out to FB Teams. I give credit where credit is due. Me and my wife woke up on Friday. I said, let me see what Teams got. He already had the scoop. I said, let me see what he talking about. FB Ting always had the scoop. I said, dang, let me see. He goes on and he got it broken down. I watched it. I said, Ting's is right. Did I notice something? They got all these little clips up and different things. I'm like, where the interview at? There was a lag with that interview. You know what that lag was? That lag was, let's see how we can frame this. The lag between the interview dropping and where it was, the lag was trying to figure out how to frame this situation. Because he came out and patently denied categorically all things. Then I even heard some people try to say, when I listened to the interview, oh, well, looks like he didn't refute any of it. Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he did. He said, look, well, I'm not going to tell you what I said. I'll let you listen to what he said. I'll let you listen to what he said. All right?
I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices. It's always changing based on what you see. I don't have a history with any of our players. I know where this is heading. But I don't have a history with any of the players. They're all external to me. But the point is, what I've seen after 3 days, okay, that gives us a little bit of a 40,000-foot view of where we're at. But that can change. Heck, once we get back on the field for 4 weeks at the end of this spring, we'll have a better idea then. But there's only so many reps you get. You've got to start to target towards who's going to start opening day. And now that can still change.
Why is it important for the rest of the team to figure out who that guy is before training camp actually starts?
I think it's important for them to have an idea of the identity of the team and have a belief in whoever that is, that this guy's going to take us to the promised land. which is starting with a winning team, winning the division, right? Winning a Super Bowl, all those things. I don't think players care. I just think they want to know who's going to give us the best chance to win. Who do we believe in that's going to give us the best chance to win?
Can you possibly be that objective?
Well, I think there's levels of being objective. I mean, I'm not Patrick from SpongeBob. I don't live under a rock. What I've learned over the years in coaching is your job is to let it play itself out. I said that many of times.
What I say on UCSS? See, that's why the scorekeeper be up. They didn't updated the tracker. They didn't updated the tracker. We up 26-0. The scorekeeper is cooking. I told you exactly what it was. I said, listen, bro. Yeah. What are you talking about? They've been in practice 3 days. What are you talking about? Listen, we're gonna let it play out. But the devious part about it is, let me show you how this works real quick. I don't want to parse. I don't want to parse no words. I want to get it. Let me pull this back up. Let me tell you how this works. This showed everybody's hand. This, they don't got nobody, they say no specifics to Mary Kay, but this is everybody's hand. See, from the beginning, they do this in society all the time. They smile in your face. They tell you one thing in public. They tell you one thing to make it seem like they trying to be fair about the situation. And then they jump out there and say, that doesn't matter. Never mind. That doesn't matter. No, we just need to do it. And I want it my way. Everybody talked about the competition. Now, last year, when Dylan Gabriel was in the competition, nobody told, when Kenny Pickett was in the competition, when Joe Flacco was in the competition last year, did anybody write, I think they should declare him a quarterback one ASAP and let the first team cook? Did anybody say that? Not one local person, not one national person said, let's fast forward the competition so that we can just have time to cook. There's no time to waste. See, what you create is a false timetable. You see how it's posed. You create a false timetable based on your opinion and based on your arbitrary opinion about what the situation is. There is no time to waste. Says who? I didn't know you was installing the offense. I didn't know you had a hand in the offense. Huh? See, this is the way it works. See, half of the reason, I'm going to get to it. Half of the reason that all of this is happening, and I'm going to just show you, it don't got really nothing actually to say about me, is this. Let's just be clear. I put this up the other day. Say, G. Bush, what does this have to represent? I put this up the other day. Yeah, I'm great. I'm grateful and happy I got 45,000 subscribers, but it's deeper than that. That 45,000 signifies something. It's a representation of a new wave. That 45,000 necessarily, they don't really care about G. Bush getting the 45,000 because they figure, well, G. Bush is indoctrinated. G. Bush, yeah, he says some crazy things. Yeah, he G. Bush and he does that, but it's one of them, right? It's one of them. He can go over here and do his thing. But the problem is that 45,000 is representative of other people on the internet. You can let one person cook. You can let one person. See, when you watch the movie The Matrix, right? Remember when the machine said, they let you think that you're a Neo, right? Remember Neo went to meet the architect? Neo pulled up and met the architect, and the architect said, oh, you think you're the one? Listen, we actually created the one. You're an anomaly. But guess what? We had 7 before you. 7 other people who had special powers. But you know what? That was always another aspect of control. So we've destroyed Zion 7 times before you, right? and you think you're going to save something. You see, before me, there was the BSKs. There was the Ronnie Duncans. There was a little spattering here or there. I don't care nothing about you doing it because how are you going to move? How you going to move? You notice something I always tell people. There's a reason why there's a ceiling on telling the truth. Because if you back that, guess what happens? Zion continues to grow. And then other people think that they can start telling the truth all the time. And then other people will start questioning what we're doing and whether or not this is really right, or our motives behind the way we go about talking about the media and players. So what happens is that 45,000 multiplies. Maybe FB Teams gets 50,000. Maybe Mag Dog got 49, 50. Hold on, Simply Ball Dropping got 2. Okay, that's kind of wild. Okay. You start to see Money Man. Oh, dang, he got Chef Zay. You start to see all of these other independent content creators just come out of nowhere. And what did Todd Monken say? Todd Monken said it. I didn't say it. Todd Monken said this. He said that's why we get paid so much. It's why we are able, because people like this create content. People like this create energy. People like this create energy, waves, all that good stuff. Now here's the problem. What happens to the traditional hierarchy? What happens to the traditional hierarchy? The more independent people you have coming in, pulling up, the more the pool gets diluted. The more people you have pulling up independent, questioning people, saying, yeah, you might not got it either. The more things start to happen. The more people start to look around like, huh? What are we doing here? And then you are being judged now, and you're competing with people, and you've used to having hierarchy. You're used to having that. It's just not the 45,000. It's the views. This ain't got nothing to do with my views. At the end of the day, you put out content. If people like it, if they don't, it's cool. Like, you just keep it pushing. But that number represents something. It represents your thoughts. That number represents your ideas, and that number represents the fact that there is a credible place where you no longer can say what you want. Say what you want and then get away with it. Because guess what? It's a counterculture. It's a counter to that. And I've always said, this job is about checks and balances. Checks and balances. We take a look at what happens in the government. Hey, you take a look at what happens in the government. The executive branch can't have more power than the judicial. The judicial can't have more power than the legislative. One hand washes the other. You got to watch. So yes, when you got people coming around saying what they're going to do and how they're going to do and move and say, this is, as always says, with my breaking news. See, people will say, y'all don't understand this. It has nothing to do with what is the truth. It has to do with whose truth it is. See, sometimes the words, something you can write really fast and it'll tell you the intent of it. The intent is, when you say my, she's not speaking about her specifically. She's speaking about the upholding the hierarchy behind it. Don't believe me? Just watch. Watch.
If you had to handicap it now, Watson has taken the lead, correct?
Sure. He's the first out of the gate.
Yeah.
Right? So what? He's first out of the gate, right? See, here's the thing. When you've been in the game so long, what they're used to is they're used to saying something and it becoming gospel. You're used to saying something, and here's how this thing works. They might not even see eye to eye with one another. They might not even say nothing to one another. They might even actually not even be really good friends. But when it comes to protecting the hierarchy, they will always back each other, no matter if they're wrong or not. Now, I'm a body language expert. I'm not a body. I just look. Tony looking like he's looking down a little bit. Usually, when you say something affirmative, you just, all right, okay, yeah, I believe it. And you say, why? If you ask me and you said, G. Bush, who do you think is in the lead? Who do you think and why? I would give you a football conversation. I would give you a locker room conversation. I would give you 1,000 conversations as to why I think I am going to do that. He gave you yes, because guess what? It's an unwritten rule that you do not step outside the hierarchy. We protect power. Power is the fact that people believe that it's the Wizard of Oz. They believe that we are behind the screen. The all-powerful wizard knows all and sees all. You know why? Let me ask you a question. Since Todd Monken came back and was talking, how many people jumped out and refuted it? It's real quiet today. All the people on Thursday, when they changed them depth charts, and when people was all the national media, Stephen A., everybody jumped out and said, yeah. Listen, why are nobody talking today? Why is it quiet as a church mouse? If I had thousands of sources in the coach, I would say. Now, let me ask y'all a question. That's why they be mad at the scorekeeper a little bit. Out of all of the predictions I done made, all of them, how many times has the coach or the GM came out the next day and publicly renounced all of them? It's never happened. 48 hours later, I ain't say that. Now, look, why you smiling? Why you? Come on, Tony, don't be.
Tony, if you had to handicap it now, Watson has taken the lead.
Why you so affirmative over there? All that performative. He's taking the lead. Your head is bobbing up and down, dog. What are you talking about? Look at the other dude. He's like, come on. This is big time wrestling, people.
Correct?
Sure. He's
Yeah.
the first out of the gate.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's only natural because this is a mental, until they got in the field, it was a mental competition. And
how is it a mental competition? What do you mean it's a mental competition? There's no practice. There's nobody there. How is it a mental competition? Where's Myles Garrett? Where's Jerry Jeudy?
he's got loads of experience to absorb the playbook and to change systems and to adapt to new language in the playbook. That Dylan, Gabriel, and Shedeur don't. They will in a couple of years have that same skill. But it's only natural. And if he's totally healthy, Watson's a better athlete than either of them.
Boy. Now remember, if I didn't came out and been affirmative with that breaking news, I'd be out there today, wouldn't I? I just turn my camera on and do videos. I'd be up there today saying, boy, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. Let's take a look at this. Let me just refresh your memory on this one real quick, though. I've already said, if you caught my last live about this, I'll get to that a little bit later on about the whole Deshaun Watson angle. But always remember, this is the backdrop, right? This is the night of the draft and the questions that they're asking. And this is a couple of days later what Todd Monken is talking about. Now, just watch this. Just watch this. How is it that the Cleveland Browns have one of the best drafts in the league? Everybody's raving about it. Best draft in the league. And then that night, this is the question the coach gets.
Mini camp, just the first one, obviously. So can you kind of share how did Deshaun and Shedeur and Dylan look in camp? Now you got all.
We just couldn't get past the draft and get right on to back to the quarterback. Anybody got some Miles questions too while we're at it? I mean, hell.
So from that point to the tweet, somebody done pulled up and told her that Deshaun is winning. See, sometimes when you ask for a quote and you try to roll and say, okay, well, let me ask him. He may give me something that I can interject and put something in there. But when you get stonewalled like that, what happens? Well, I told you before, hell, I'm gonna just step out there and talk about it. I just got to word it correctly. I can't have it coming off like that. Now, I don't think people will take kindly to that. But then again, Todd Monken and Andrew Berry have been very demonstrative on some of the questions they've been asking. Andrew Berry said, I'm tired of wasting my breath talking about the situation with Myles Garrett when you keep asking me, are we going to trade him? And so when you look at it like that, you got to also understand two things. These guys are playing three-dimensional chess. And I be telling y'all this. It is sometimes it's easier to watch a person by not looking directly at them. Watch them from afar. If somehow magically you get a little piece of information, just say, for instance, you did get a tidbit. All of a sudden, you take that information and you run with it. You declare what you think about it. And in the easiest way possible, all they needed to do is, guess what? They've identified what side you stand on, don't they? What if by chance somebody did say, Deshaun Watson looked pretty good. Like what Deshaun Watson was doing the other day. You take that information, go around, you build it up, you blow it up, you build a whole narrative around it, and then you drop it. Internet go crazy. Well, here's the problem. See, sometimes people, while you're looking directly at them, they might not move in a direction. They might not tell you what exactly they got behind their sleeves. They might not even let you on to the fact that they don't even mess with you like that. Huh? So you float the idea. And let's see what you got to say about that. And then they'll declare. See, sometimes it's better to hold your cards to your vest. Sometimes it's easier to just throw it out there and let them figure it out. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, you develop a lot of conversation between them. Now, let's talk about this one. Did I play this one yet? I also think he put a wrench in the game too, because I think that they was going to get to the virtue signaling. Let me see where it's at. Did I get this clip? Let me make sure this is the one. Let me see.
International headlines.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, one, always understand, I'm going to break it down for you. Always understand this is 3 parts, 3 tools, 3 levels. It's layered up. So if I ask you a question about the quarterback, you come back out and you naturally refute it, right? 1,700 people and hit the like button. If I ask you about the quarterback situation and you come out and be like, I ain't got no quarterback. I ain't got no quarterback yet. Now I got to ask you about something else. Now, the excitement on his face is, let me see if I can catch this man slipping. But watch how Todd Monken looks at it. You see, there's always times. There is always time. Listen, for the Cleveland Browns, let me just tell you something. Let me just let y'all know something. I'll be shutting my mouth up, right? I don't be talking. What I do is I try not to say nothing. And listen, I'm just little OG Bush in the barbershop. But sometimes I get upset. They be like, oh, G. Bush, you don't got no sources. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You can think whatever you want to. But let me just tell you how well intimately I understand. In the Cleveland Browns front office, they got personality profiles on every main person. They got personality profiles on every person. You know why? You say, dang, G. Bush, that sound like G14 classified. You sound like you doing some Minority Report stuff. You think, what is this, the CIA? They got files on briefs? Notice what Todd Monken admitted to. These shows generate and cultivate views, people, interest, millions of dollars. Jimmy Haslam is a billionaire. Jimmy Haslam can't come out and refute every effort. Jimmy Haslam can't do podcasts. Todd Monken not going to do every podcast. But you know what? People like me are. As a matter of fact, you go back and look at the last political election. What happened in that last election was some people identified that the actual people, don't run no ads on ABC, CBS. You go to these podcasts and these streamers. You go mess with these streamers. That's the new wave. They got personality profiles on all of them. So when they do certain things, they understand where you're going with it. They understand Lima is trolling. And don't you think that they have that when you go, before you go to any debate, because by the way, these are debates. Todd Monken is showing up. He didn't just wake up unprepared. You think that he woke up unprepared? He had an opportunity to prep for who he was talking to. And so when you see Lima's face, he said, oh, I got him. Look at Todd's face. I knew you fall for it. He's like, dang, these dudes, man. Well, that personality assessment was correct. Let's see what he has.
I see when I come in today, Browns international headlines like Shiloh Sanders, sexist comment draws backlash, tells Browns reporter to go make a sandwich. How can you make sure to disassociate any of that stuff?
He asked the man, again, timetables. Do you see the slightly authoritative undertone? He asked earlier, remember we talked about the timetable. There's no time to waste. Name him the quarterback now. Well, that seems kind of pushy. You ask him about somebody's brother's comments. You say, disavow. How can you, my good sir, step away from this? Notice, let's go.
With a very serious competition that you are having, because everybody has a platform now and everybody's weighing in on every decision. We had it happen with the prior coach. How can
gentle threats? So you didn't see it as that, right? Gentle nudge. He basically told him, He told him in no certain terms. Well, if you don't get this under control, you know what happened to the last coach. So we're just giving you a wink, wink, nod, nod, coach. You might want to nip this in the bud. You might want to, this uprising, as I tell you, you think you have control of the mob now. But no, you don't. You don't want to happen what the last coach happened. You got to lay the law down.
you make sure that that stuff doesn't bleed into what you guys are doing?
Well, we were talking about on the ride up here. First off, I think it's awesome. I mean, it's why we get paid so much. I mean,
What? Oh, that was the most shocking. That was the most shocking answer I ever seen. And you see how Ken, I get Ken. Ken is a, me and Ken come, I went to the same, me and Ken come from the same city, right? He went to Perry, I went to McKinley. And one thing about Ken I give him is Ken can read. He a pretty good person at reading people, right? And notice Lima's face and then notice Ken's face. Ken knows he's up against a Jedi master with Sith tendencies. He up against, now remember, a Jedi, they too good for their own good. They won't play dirty. They'll come in there and we'll fight. A mano a mano, no dirty tricks. Sith come in there, we're using force lightning, force chokes. Listen, they'll say, look over here, hit you with the lightsaber. Sith don't care nothing about that. They trying to get the Sith is so cold. They said, man, it's a rule of two. Think about how cold this is. If you're a Sith Lord, the only way you could be the up top dude is you got to be an apprentice. And then it's only time between who gets to be eliminated. The only way you get to be the top dog is you eliminate the master. The Sith is cold with it. Ken understands that this man is a Jedi. He has no problems force choking you out. He'll hit you with the lightning. He ain't playing around. Ken is like, yeah, this dude, he's real. He's not playing this game. He ain't playing with us.
we get paid so much because fans care and you talk about it. If it wasn't talked about, I sure as hell wouldn't get paid what I get paid. So that's part of what we do. But if that's going to bother me or it's going to bother Shedeur or Deshaun, they have no chance of being either the head coach here or the quarterback at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, for God's sakes, it's the world we live in. I think someone told me years ago that if the president has a 55% approval rating, he's killing it.
He even took a subtle jab. And this is crazy. Understand what he just did. I have never seen this before. But what he did is he pulled back the curtain. He said, guys, let's stop pretending. Let's stop acting as if you don't understand how this world works. And they've been doing this in the media since day one. He basically told you, guys, look at what's going on in the United States every day. We got people arguing back and forth, all on Twitter. We in a war. Inflation is through the roof. People's jobs, we can't even afford health care. Gun violence is through the roof. Literacy rates in our cities and our schools are terrible. Kids go to school just to feed themselves. Can't even feed them. You got people, millions of people with no health insurance, no coverage. You got people that can't afford to retire. They work 40 years and still got to go ring the bell at Walmart in the door. Like medicine prices are through the roof. And you pull me up here to ask me about what somebody said on social media because you think it's so crazy that we won't be able to do our jobs. Stop lying. You need to quit it. You don't care about none of that on social media because you live through it every single day. But you choose to make an example of this. You choose to put the emphasis on this. You choose to act like this is the only part of our society that really matters. He said, I refuse to play the game. Because if you are worried about what somebody wrote on Twitter, and if you can't coach a football team, thank goodness somebody said. If you are a person who has distractions and can't motivate your team because of what somebody said on social media, you are unfit to be a coach. You are unfit to be a coordinator. You are unfit to be a quarterback, a defensive back. You just don't make it. But what you guys have been doing the whole time is you've been setting the rules of engagement. You've been basically saying, hey, if you don't do what we want to, we're going to yell, kick, scream, fight like petulant children, and we'll continue to write this about a dumpster fire. This conversation was not about the quarterbacks. It was about letting them know you no longer control the purse strings. I don't care what you're doing. Write it away. As a matter of fact, as much as you get up here and call it a dumpster fire, I love it because guess what? I get paid more money. We all love capitalism, don't we? It's different.
Well, I don't know. I'll shoot for 60 approval rating or a quarterback. Like, that's part of what we do. It's part of the scrutiny that comes with it. And fine. That comes with the territory of what we do. And ultimately, what we do on the field is what matters most. And I said it, and there's more to it than just saying, but it really is. You want to stop the narrative? Play well. You want to stop a narrative? Win. It's really that simple. Now, there's more that goes into that because I got scrutinized by just saying, oh, winning. I know there's more to it. I get that. But ultimately, that's what it is. It's any narrative.
Ken is like, okay, all right, yeah, we're going to have to, this dude is not going to play with us. He not playing with us right now. He just not. By the way, it goes all into this as well. Now, we've seen 3. It's all about the protection. I mean, you think the Browns got to do offensive linemen. One person says it, we all back it. If I put the report out yesterday and then you act like that's gospel, then what? It becomes gospel, right? Then another person comes on and panics. Oh my goodness. I don't understand. This is so unfair. How is it they're not giving Shedeur opportunity? They got you moving all outside the framework of your body about something that don't even be true. Don't even be true. I always tell people, I just let them think what they want. Because, listen, people be talking about all these sources. By the way, let me tell you about this, though, too. Jimmy is good. Jimmy is good. I think he does a good job of playing possum. I do. Because they understand. See, the Browns understand who gonna say what, how they gonna move, what they gonna say, what they gonna do. They actually understand, even me. They understand they get it. They see what I do. They say how I stand on business. But to sell any great novel, to make you're only as good. A superhero is only as good as his villain. Why you think Joker is so great? See, sometimes these comic books fall short. It's because you're only as good as the stakes. Batman is awesome, right? But he's something else. Joker get you up out of here. Joker blow a whole building up with people just to laugh. So it adds tension. It adds that you don't never know what's going to happen. You don't never know. So now everything, all of the stakes are there. All of the stakes are there. And I told you before, I've been the only person that's been saying this consistently. Remember what I said about the money? Remember what I said about the jerseys? Remember what I said about the conversations? Follow the bread. This is going to be one of the greatest orchestrated quarterback battles of all time. Ask yourself one question. Nobody's talking about the Jets, the Chiefs, the Bengals, The Bengals got a franchise quarterback. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, they are quarterbacks. Ain't nobody said nothing about none of these teams nowhere near nowhere at all. Where is all the conversations about the Seattle Seahawks? They won the Super Bowl. Only reason the Patriots is in the headlines is because of something the coach did. We're not even talking about these teams. We sitting here in April, now May, talking about Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Like I told you, they would. This is just the first step. Don't look at it as being a Mary Kay, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just the first step in the machine churning. That was just the first warning shot. That was the first to start it. So now the conversation is, if you haven't paid no attention, now the conversation is in the vernacular, it's everywhere. Now, if you put Deshaun Watson here, now it's time for somebody to step up and say, oh, but did you see Shedeur Sanders? But did you see Shedeur and what he was doing? And everybody from the Shedeur side come on over. They start doing their thing. Then all of a sudden, hear somebody say something. Oh, but listen, you see, this is just the first. This is the first warning shot. Guys, it's all entertainment. It's big time wrestling. Big time wrestling. And I'm going to show you why that's factual. I'm going to show you why it's factual. Right? Out of all of the stuff that I say, facts. Out of all of the things that I say on the barber shop, and I got receipts and spiciness, and I be doing the most, and how many blogs have you seen? How many radio shows have you seen? How many television shows have you seen where they name names and say my name publicly and say, G. Bush is out of line, or G. Bush, I'm coming back at you. G. Bush, you're wrong. G. Bush, you're doing way too much. Matter of fact, maybe it's me. Can you guys put that in there? Maybe, I don't know. Out of anybody, can somebody show me? Because I just want to know because I want to make the point, and so you'll get it. Not that I'm the big bad wolf. Not that people are scared of me. Not that I'm not intimidating nobody. I ain't doing none of that. I'm trying to set up a point. There's a reason. There's a reason why ain't nobody said nothing. Huh? They never say it. Not one. Never. Never. There's a reason for that. I am a necessary evil. To be truthful, the barbershop and the people that listen to the barbershop generate millions for people. Millions. I ain't saying hundreds of thousands. Millions. They understand that if they say something, even if I cover it, it amplifies it. All it really does is give you more credence. All it does is add more strength to what you're saying. And there's a reason you won't say it and then say, oh, no. Because it's all big time wrestling. They don't even believe half the stuff they say. You just have to take a side. And if one person has already declared what they think, by default, like in wrestling, someone has to be the heel. So they just move and say, okay, I'll move into the heel role. I'm just, listen, I know we're a little slow today. But the reason that can work is because of the attention span of the audience. The attention span of the audience, they don't, what are we talking about here? There's a reason why there's no consequences for saying wrong things. It just becomes yesterday's news. Now what's going on today? Because when you do things like this, the only person that's going to remember it is me or somebody that be thinking about it. And I can see the pattern. I'm showing you it ain't one person, it's all big time wrestling. This is last year, right? They talked about it. I'm not here. This is what Todd Monken says. I'm not there yet. We've been on the field for 3 practices. Monken didn't indicate that any one player currently has a strong lead over another player for the quarterback 1 position. Monken did say he'd love to have a decision by training camp, but he also says things can change throughout the summer and into preseason too. I've always thought it was premature to claim somebody was already winning the position competition in April after a couple sessions, but what do I know? Well, here's what I know. I know that there's patterns to certain things, and I know and I understand that this is what the pattern is, because this isn't this year, this is last year. Exhibit A. According to Mary Kay Cabot, Kenny Pickett is currently the top of the Browns quarterback depth chart. It's a tough call before we've even seen the first practice of organized team activities. This is not deja vu. This is the game. It ain't just that. It's a tough call even before we've seen the practice of the organized team activities. But I know Kenny heads in as the front runner to win the starting job at the outset. He'll take the first initial reps in OTAs and probably the mandatory minicamp, and it seems like it's his job to try to keep for now. So I'm just connecting the dots. This isn't something that happens every single day. This is something that is part of the media, is part of the game, and it's part of what we do. My job is to educate you so that you don't be taking things I seen people in here was really like, I can't stand this. I can't believe Coach Monken would do this. I can't believe he would. Coach Monken didn't do nothing. Also, I want you to show that you this. This is another thing. This is another thing that I said the other day. This is another thing I said the other day. And I wanted to highlight it because it shows you the underhanded way people think about this stuff, right? And I love this example so much, and I love the way Coach Monken put it, that I thought, like, dang, this just fits right into what we're talking about. And so many times in our country, they tell us in this country, even for me, one thing that I have with the United States, and sometimes, and I love where I'm at, and I ain't going, and trust me, I ain't going nowhere. So y'all can just forget that. Well, if you don't like it so much, nah, bro, you can't do nothing. You can't make me do nothing. So, but the one thing I don't like is sometimes we believe so much in our ideals, but when it comes to actually living out those ideals, you fall short of what you're supposed to do. We live on this grand ideology that we are so much better than everybody because we are Americans. No, you're not better than nobody. Everything must be earned. You must continue to build on what your forefathers done. You must continue to build on the legacy that your parents give you. If my parents went to college and they busted their tail and they wanted to see me do better, it's my responsibility that when I get older, I got to pay that forward. But if my descendants, if my children, or the people that I don't have an influence on or touching and be around, if they don't espouse to that same level, then what you're trying to do dies mid-generation. So it's all about actions and continue to live towards an ideal, not just say you believe in an ideal. So one of the things that I always say is people want to tell us in America, if you work hard, you go to school, you do what you need to do, you be a good person, you trust in God, and you'll get to where you need to go. All solid principles. But there are a lot of people who bark that, but fight against those same things behind closed doors. Hence, quarterback competitions. When somebody says quarterback competition, 9 times out of 10, they're not talking about a fair quarterback competition. They're talking about shadow dressing and window dressing. We say it's a competition, but it really ain't. We say, everybody, hey, we're putting it out on the internet. Open call for this position. We say we want to hire the best candidate, but we end up hiring the person that maybe we knew their dad. Maybe they went to the same high school. Maybe they went to the same college. Maybe they were in the same fraternity. Maybe they're in the same tax bracket. Maybe they go to the same church. Is it really an open call for the job? Is it really the best man gets the job? Or is it just something that you're doing to convince the public that you're actually living up to those ideals that you kind of stand on the soapbox and preach, even though you don't believe in them? Case in point. Quarterback competition has the inside track to win. The inside track after how much? We just looked at the resume. We didn't even bring him in for an interview yet. Nah, we need to go ahead and declare him the winner. We need to hire this person immediately. We need to hire him immediately. We need to get into this project. We need to hire this person immediately. But don't you think it's better if we actually hired the best candidate over the fastest candidate? No, we got this project. Our whole our company hinges on this project. Where investors have spent millions of dollars in this project. We got to hurry up and get it ready to go. But don't you think we should go and vet the best person to do the engineering project? Well, I know a guy. Oh, you do? Yeah, I know a guy. All right. It's almost like being like, hey, we're going to choose the valedictorian. We're going to choose the valedictorian at a high school. Susie has a 4.5 GPA. National Honor Society. She's going to be valedictorian. But then you find out that, yeah, she had a 4.5 GPA. But really, all the rest of her classmates, they didn't even let them apply. Only one person could apply. Oh, and by the way, not only were she's the only one that was allowed to apply, the rest of them weren't even given grades. As a matter of fact, they didn't even let them take tests. So how excited should you be that Susie is the valedictorian when you realize they didn't even let anybody else apply or nobody else had grades to even do it? What'd you say, Todd?
Many of times, like, I'm going to let all of the students take the test.
What?
I'm not going to.
Sheesh. This man put that. I'm going to let all of the students take the test. You people sat, no, let them talk.
I said that many of times, like, I'm going to let all of the students take the test. I'm not going to walk in the classroom and before they even take a test, I'm going to observe the students and give them a grade based on what? How they look, how they dress. Like, nationality, male, female. My job is to let it play out. And sometimes players have they have a fresh start is maybe the best way to put it, or a different style or a different system. So it's my job to do that. And to me, it's the only way.
Boy, oh boy. He just showed you. He showed you in one sentence the way the whole game is set up. He just showed you the way the world works. And it's crazy. He put it in a way that you could understand it, that everybody can get it. You guys are sitting up here championing these guys. This is the exact reason. This is the Arch Manning thinking. This is the get me Drew Aller thinking. This is the, hey, let's punt to 27. Hey, let's get this guy. You want to sit up here and crown a quarterback. You want to crown the savior, the Messiah, by the way he looks, by the way he acts, by the way he dresses, by the way you can identify him with. And I'm not going to do it. You know what the novel thought is? I'm going to live by the principles that we say we stand on. I'm going to let everybody that walks into that class take the test. I didn't say I was going to grade the test. I didn't say I was going to put my thumb on the scale. I said, I just owe it to a man. I owe it to a woman. I owe it to a person at a human level. I am not going to then come in here and say, he won, but you didn't even let him take the test. And the point that we've been making about Shedeur Sanders for the entire process, it ain't that everybody is in some sort of cabal or cult or they just, no. The problem that they have with you people, and I'm talking about the people that keep pushing this stuff, is the fact you guys are so left in la la land that you guys don't know the mask is off. Your trick or treat mask is gone. You were never interested in him ever even getting to take the test. It's the reason he was on another field with Kevin Stefanski as they played around and said it was a quarterback competition. You never want him to take the test. It's the reason why when we talk about Deshaun Watson, we got still people talking, well, I think it's better for Shedeur to sit down and wait for Deshaun because it'll take the pressure off. But how you going to have pressure and he started 7 games last year? What do you mean take the pressure off of him? He ended the season as the starting quarterback winning games. The reality of it is this is the way America works. Right in front of your face. You wonder why your resume is in another drawer? You wonder why it just seems to be you've been stuck at the same place. You wonder why your metrics are the best. Every single evaluation, you're doing a great job. You're doing what you need to do. Here's your 2.5% raise. Meanwhile, they tell you don't ask another person how much you make, because you might be surprised that they make 20% more than you, doing less work, less metrics, less tenured, and it's arbitrary. It's the way it works. A novel thought. Why don't we just let them all take the test and let it figure it out? Because what may happen is if we all took the test, you may find out that your pet student isn't that smart. You may find out that the person you thought was great is middling. You might find out that your friend down the street, his dad went to the same fraternity as your dad, but the kid is dumb as rocks. He's going to cost your company millions down the line because he's incompetent. He's not cut out for the position. Speaking of cut out for the position, and the way you guys think about it. I know you're still upset that Kevin's gone, but all that talk about, losing these games, put that to bed. You thought you was going to come ask him a question. He actually told you in a roundabout way. Don't think I didn't hear what y'all been talking about. Because you think you're smart enough to get people to lose on purpose and then act like, see, you'll do this up front and then you'll be the same person calling for his head. Just lose and tear it down to the studs. You just want your new quarterback. You want your new GM. Heck, you want a new owner. I say, y'all better stop it. Y'all better leave Jimmy Haslam alone. You better leave him alone. That's the next little point. They can go viral talking negatively about Deshaun regardless if it's true or not. They got the interview questions loading now. The facts that y'all got to understand is, I told you this before. I'll show you again before we get to the rest of the comments. I know I don't got no, I know we just talking a little bit, but I want to show you something. I just really want to understand and let you guys know something. I told you this almost 3 months ago. I told you this 3 months ago, how this thing was going to work. See, this is the reason why Watson versus Sanders, another media divide and conquer tactic. You see how it works is, we keep talking about whether or not Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson is better. You should learn from what they did to Dillon Gabriel. They've completely discarded him anyway. Won't even mention his name. I find it funny that just a week ago, and these tactics, boy, oh boy. I mean, these tactics is I mean, this is proof. Remember somebody said I wouldn't count Dillon Gabriel out? Huh? Remember somebody said that? Don't count Dillon Gabriel out. I think he's going to surprise some people. 2 days later, it's a two-man competition. 1 day later, nope, Deshaun Watson is him. I told you this was coming. Here it is. In a video 3 months ago, before they got to it. Remember I said they would slowly start working it back into the public view? They would slowly start to say, well, I mean, if you look at it just strictly on athleticism and what they've done in the past, I think Deshaun is the guy. No, you guys didn't say Deshaun was the guy. Actually, to be truthful, you're the people who said Deshaun Watson shouldn't even be allowed in the NFL. You're the people that consistently said before this little competition that you didn't even want to see his face. You're the same people that did not bat an eye when this happened. Browns fans cheer while Watson goes down with devastating injury. When was that, G. Bush? Oh, that was about 2 years ago. You see, what you got to do is you got to really pump your brakes and examine it. What you want me to do, and why this is why I don't do the Deshaun Watson, we getting you up out of here, Shedeur is about to be. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. What I am not going to do is this. I'm not going to give you ammunition because that's what you want. You want me to think, oh, we'll just build Deshaun up just like we did Dillon Gabriel. If Deshaun does well, guess what? Cool. He won't be here next year. We'll get him up out of here because I know he won't like being in Cleveland. If he does bad, oh, that's the real thing. You see, here's the crux of it. This is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? This is the thesis. This is the thesis. You say, okay, what's the grand play? Here's the play. The goal is this. And I'm going, oh man. Y'all ready? All right. Start from the beginning. Okay? Kevin Stefanski, start way back before that. They go with Kenny Pickett. He ain't good. They go with Joe Flacco. He ain't good. They trade Joe Flacco. He goes to the Bengals and throws for 500 yards on national TV. That means Kevin Stefanski's offense was trash. Everybody knew it at that point. They played Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel showed he was not good at all. Everybody was propping him up in the media because Kevin was telling him. Fast forward, Kevin was trying to play Bailey Zappi. And then Andrew Berry stepped in and was like, we're not doing that. Jimmy Haslam gave him the green light. They played Shedeur. Shedeur came in against the Ravens. They tried to say if he don't play well against the Raiders, he will never play again. They were already writing it. He won the game against the Raiders. First quarterback to win a game, and then they act like it didn't exist. What really got Kevin fired was that he was able to throw for almost 400 yards against the Titans, and he took them off the football field, and they lost the game. At that point, he was done. He was stripped of play calling. It was a wrap. It was over. He was gone. Everybody in the media got upset about that because Kevin was gone. They then said, if Kevin's gone, how dare they keep Andrew Berry? Jimmy Haslam came out and said, the reason I'm keeping him is because he had a crazy draft. We saw what it was, and we won games down the stretch. Okay, they're still mad at that. Who's the head coach? People ask me who the head coach is. I said, I had no idea. We'll see what they pick. They picked Todd Monken. They try to stir trouble up with Jim Schwartz. They try to be like, the Browns are terrible. Remember the blog we did when I said the media is acting stupid as if the Browns are asking people to write essays. Who writes essays? Remember that? Remember that? They didn't like that move to start with either. So now what do you end up with? Remember they're saying it's going to be a new quarterback room. Gee, these guys aren't going to be here. Guess what? All three of them are still here, like I said. No other beat reporter, no other reporter said that they're still here. So now what do? They keep asking them. The Browns have another good draft. Everybody in the league is talking about, man, the Browns is crazy. The Browns, they got something going. Dude, all they need is to get half a good quarterback play. We're ready to go. All of a sudden, we got to start this quarterback controversy early. We're losing control of this. We got to go ahead and start this pot quickly because right now we about it here. This arc door is closing like I told you it was closing. Here's what happens. If you can't get them out regularly, how do you do it? You manufacture it. So if Deshaun Watson is all of a sudden going to be the quarterback, they'll push for Deshaun Watson. You know why? Because they know there's a lot of people in the fan base that don't like Deshaun Watson. And if the Cleveland Browns show that Deshaun Watson, and they say that they think that he gives them the best chance to win, they already know that 85% of the fan base, maybe 80%, is going to boo, do all kind of stuff, start talking about allegations again. I'm never wearing my Browns color again. I'm not doing that. That's twofold. What happens when you do that? That takes credibility away from Andrew Berry. They're going to say, we did all of this, and you had to find out twice that Deshaun Watson wasn't working? What if you start off bad? What if you start off and you're not very good? Then that is a way to discredit your drafts. Because then they'll say it's not about the drafts, it's about evaluating talent. See how that moved? It's not about the drafts. You did a good job of draft, but you don't have any common sense. How could you see what he was doing before and you put him out here and he's performing worse? Also, you know what it does? It then takes away exactly the mojo that Todd Monken has right now. Amongst real football fans and Browns fans, His approval rating is through the roof. You know what the only way his approval rating can really kind of go down is if he decides that Deshaun Watson is a quarterback. That's fine. Put him out there and he looks bad. Then they'll say, well, is he a really offensive genius? You guys were calling him a genius before the season. Is he an evaluator? Deshaun Watson, he's not doing anything. And then to the greater point, we told you it wasn't Kevin. We told you it wasn't Kevin. Deshaun is the reason the whole organization is sank. And now he's sank 2 coaches. On the backtrack, the hope is he plays worse enough, bad enough, that all the people that support Shedeur Sanders jump off the ship. And they know that they're the most active of the factions. So now Todd Monken has lost the support from the loudest group. Todd Monken and Andrew Berry has lost the support of the greater older group that was just Browns fans. And now, even if you do play Shedeur Sanders, the age-old question continues to creep in. As they always say, well, if he plays 7 games, is it enough to make an evaluation? The Browns have already done that last year. So we just got to go and get another quarterback and stop playing around. Stop the games. Just listen, even if he plays well, I mean, what are the chances he's a franchise quarterback? So you see, this scenario sets up the best opportunity for you to put a wrench in the game. This move gets you all you want, everything, and all the above, letter D. Andrew Berry will probably be fired. Todd Monken will be on the hot seat after this year. You will be getting another quarterback because Deshaun Watson, I already done told you, even if he play well, personally, he's not coming back to play. He don't even like you here. It's one of the reasons they won't let you talk to him. He has nothing to say to you because y'all know what y'all was doing before. So either way, if he play good, he play bad, he won't be here. And then Shedeur Sanders, you'll discard him and you'll get exactly what you wanted. You get a new GM. You'll be working on your 6, 7 coaches. And guess what? You'll be back to the power vacuum. You'll be back to saying, aha, we now have the power again. We now have the power again. And you can talk about Arch Manning every day. So always remember, you think, you say, well, G. Bush, why would people do that? Because it's easier. It's easier to sell misery than to sell happiness and wins. Because if the Browns get good and you got to break the game down, I mean, have you seen the commentary? People don't even watch games here. They're not watching no film. This is TMZ now. Also, if the Browns are good and Shedeur is good, who stands to lose the most? That's the bet. By the way, if Shedeur is good, I think Shiloh's going to be around a lot. I think well off media stays. I think the people who support Shedeur will probably be loud and on the boards. So if you think that is a conspiracy theory, always remember one thing. We told you this was coming 3 months ago. And every seed that has went down has been there. I do want to remind you though too, because I keep all this stuff with me. I don't just have it just to have it. I keep it here. I just want to let you know that do not say that all. Packers backup quarterback Malik Willis and Ty Simpson are among the external quarterbacks on the Browns' radar at the NFL Combine kicking off on Tuesday. And free agents starting in 2 weeks. I've been documenting this for how long? How long we've been documenting this stuff? How long we've been putting on with this stuff? How long we've been continuing to tell you about this stuff? Mary Kay Cabot is in Indianapolis reporting that the Browns are looking into external options at quarterback. She says the Browns loved Willis during the draft process. And as for Ty Simpson, she says the team will consider him at 6 and at 24 and at 39. Oh, this is February 23rd. So guys, when you put these things together, as you start to put this book together, you start to see a cohesive plan, a cohesive blueprint at the way people go about things. And we'll end it with what Todd Monken understands. He understands exactly what I told you. He completely understands what the agenda is. He gets it. And he told you he's not playing into it. So while you asking him these questions and advocating losing, watch how he puts it. Watch how he subtly tells him, the devil is a lie. I know what you're trying to get to. Let me tell you why I'm different.
Something you came in immediately and said, I want to do it this way, and I'm going to make this my own, whether it's something accountability, whether it's a messaging, whatever it is there something to put the Todd Monken stamp on the Cleveland Browns?
Well, first off, I have a ton of respect for Kevin Stefanski.
Notice. He offers this up. Y'all got to get in. This is the last part. Tap in. I need y'all to think. Todd Monken offers Kevin Stefanski's name up. Lima's question wasn't necessarily about anything that would lead you to Kevin Stefanski, was it? He said, what is your stamp? What was your identity? What is your stamp? Regular question. Todd Monken understands that it is a regular question, but he's controlling where the conversation's going. Maybe he didn't get what he wanted out. Maybe there was a question that he didn't want to get to. Maybe there was the tone that he needed to set before he left the interview. Okay? Watch how he goes to Kevin Stefanski. He starts off by saying, I got a lot of respect for him, but watch the tone and where it switches to. Watch where it goes.
Something to put the Todd Monken stamp on the Cleveland Browns.
Well, first off, I have a ton of respect for Kevin Stefanski. He is a fantastic football coach. You don't get to be a head coach in the NFL and not be a fantastic football coach. An identity is a little bit strong. I've said it before that I think I've said this a ton of times, but I really believe this. As much as I love winning and I hate losing, I despise crappy football.
Now, he says that because he's setting up to say you might as well stop it right now. I done heard what y'all been talking about. I done heard what you've been saying about just losing, and it's about the dome in 29. And by the way, he's already heard that people on your airwaves have suggested that he won't even be here in 2 years. And he ain't coached a down in his life. Wasn't even, this is before the draft. This is before OTAs. He hadn't coached a day in his life. Not 1 second he coached. Not one. And you already telling me he not going to be here. So what he's doing is he's setting the tone, telling you, forget what you're talking about. I ain't got no time for all that nonsense you're talking about. But let me just tell you something. What my identity is not with this identity of this city and what y'all keep trying to promulgate. I despise crappy football. I hate it. I'm allergic to it. I don't even want to talk about it. I despise it. I despise even going down the rabbit hole and saying and giving you any satisfaction of thinking that people like you can gauge or judge or move me to a place where winning is not important. And for the last 6 to 8 months, we've been hearing people tell us and writing, winning not important. It's all about the 2026. It's all about 27. It's all about the dome. It's all about moving on, finding a quarterback. When you find out how disrespectful that is, you telling me that some kid in college, let me just ask you a question. This is why I get mad when it comes to certain things like this. If Arch Manning was so good, why didn't he bring his butt out right now? If he was the savior, if you was talking about Dante Moore, if he was such the savior and was walking on water, why did he not come out this year? The question is, he ain't ready to. And if you think I'm a grown man gonna waste my time, waste my talent, waste my energy lifting weights to lose games for a mythical 18 to 24-year-old savior, you're crazy. Talk to him about how bad you hate losing.
And I just think that it's just such a bad look for coaching. It just is. You look dumb as a coach when you put bad football on the field.
You look dumb. You look stupid. You look foolish. You look out of place. You look immature. You look silly. You look unkept when you put bad football on the field. And then you look naive and silly when you insinuate that coaches have nothing to do with that crappy product on the field. What else, coach?
You want it to look like you want it to look like. If we ran power 62 plays in the game, they might be pissed off that we ran power 62 times. But if it looks like that's our identity and we're going to be a physical team and it looks like you want it to look like, you can live with it. But when you go out there and if you're jumping off sides, you have 10 on the field.
Did you watch us last year? See, again, silently, let me tell you what he just did. Where all the EPA stats at? Where all the QBR stats at? You know what he squarely put bad football? Pre-snap penalties, bad special teams, 10 on the field, can't get out of the huddle, delay a game, personal fouls, illegal contact downfield. You know what he put that on? He put that on the coach. So when everybody brings up the fact that they don't have a quarterback, Browns don't have a quarterback, can't win it without a quarterback, they're going to be terrible without a quarterback, he's showing you in your face. These are the things that coaches have to own and are responsible for. And you've been letting them off the hook for years with it because you don't understand the way winning football happens. What else, coach? Whose responsibility is this? Whose?
Team, and it looks like you want it to look like, you can live with it. But when you go out there and if you're jumping off sides, you have 10 on the field, you got 12 on the field, the quarterback has anxiety at the line of scrimmage. Guys are going the wrong way. And that's an indictment on coaching. And that's an indictment on us.
He brings it back to what we've been saying. He brings it back to the principles of football. He brings it back, and he's telling, you guys have been letting the games too long. There's too many people. There's too many people that are not understanding what football is about. And I'm setting the deck for you. I'm educating you on what and how winning football happens and how I go about it. It isn't the quarterback. Just because you never played and you play fantasy football and you say quarterback 1,000 times does not mean you know what the quarterback does, you know what the linemen do. You actually don't pay attention to any of it. And I kind of understand why you would think that. But let me just tell you what we are responsible for. It makes us look bad. It's a bad look.
So that's the starting point. You want to give yourself a chance. And that's give yourself a chance. More games are lost than they're won. And that's the starting point for us as a team.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. You know, to me, it's a reset. Again, it's a reset. Who knows what Todd Monken will do? Browns could be successful. Hey, Deshaun Watson could be the quarterback. Hey, you know, he could be the quarterback. You may have Shedeur Sanders be the quarterback. Who knows? But the one thing I do know is he's done a good job of reframing and bringing it back to what this all is about. We've forgotten. We have forgotten what football is about. We have forgotten what life is about. We have got to a point where we've been practicing theater so much that we refuse to understand, and we don't know that we're acting anymore. Let me just tell you this, and this is a overarching thing. We believe that society is ever going. It always gets better. We believe that society is stacking blocks together. You crawl first, then you walk, then you run, then you drive, then you fly. I'm here to tell you life ain't like that. I'm here to tell you society is very fragile. Very fragile. Do you know back in the Roman Empire, they had running waters and aqueducts? Do you remember, do you understand that they put the pyramids together with rudimentary tools? Do you know that in South America, their calendars were so precise that the days were down to the second? They would map the skies based on the stars. Their calendar were more accurate and sometimes than we have today. You know, they found a machine. They call it a prehistoric computer. It's called the Antikythera. They found it in the sea, in a ship, in a boat, in an old crate. And they said this was one of the first calculators. And you say, people believe, oh, no, that's not possible. How could you do that? It's not possible. Well, you got to understand, society is built and steeped when people continue to do what they're supposed to do. Then you get progress. But all it takes is one generation. You can have one generation of great thinkers and people that propel society forward, and when we all reap the benefits from it. But you can have a generation full of idiots too. And that generation of idiots will drag culture down to 500, 600, 1,000 years back. Because when you get drunk on narrative, when you get drunk on theater, you don't educate nobody. And today, the theater has become so rampant that we don't even know how to call out fact, fiction, lies, or anywhere in between. So the point of all of this is there has to be something that brings it to a baseline. You may not like G. Bush. You may not like the way I go about a show. You may not like the way I go about certain things. But the one thing that is not deniable is there's a few things that matter to me. What you say, your word, and how you gonna move with it, and also the science of being great. If you are a welder and you do it at the top of the food chain, I salute you. I'm fascinated with people who are great. I'm fascinated with if you're a seamstress. I'm fascinated if you're an astrologer or a scientist or you build spaceships. If you are the greatest at what you do and you have a God-given ability and gift and you cultivate it, I respect you. You're fascinating to me. The problem is we've let a lot of people who don't care about being great infiltrate our society. You can have a couple of them in different places, but you can't have 80% of your society living with people who don't care about the truth, don't care about the process, don't care about understanding, learning their craft. Because what happens is one day you wake up and they burn all of the scrolls in Alexandria and they burn everything else. We learned in COVID. I tell you this all the time. Let that electricity go out for more than 2 weeks. Let that electricity go out for 2 weeks and then let it happen for about a month. All that money you got in the account is mythical. That is an electronic statement. What happens when that ATM don't work? What happens when you can't go to the bank and get your stuff out? What happens when you forget about some of the cures and you think about the internet and you think about TV? Bro, that power go out. Society is set back 17, 20,000 years just like that. And what Todd Monken is doing is he's resetting the script. He's telling you, in my day, in my age, a man needed to know how to change a tire, plow a field, shoot a gun, hunt, cook, defend herself. A woman had to learn how to deliver her own children, sew, cook, watch people. You know medicinal cures. Understand how to put to dry clothing, to wash clothing, to understand where you should go and where you shouldn't. If you lived on the frontier in the 1700s, that was life or death decisions. Today, we got dudes sitting up on the internet making it up. We got dudes sitting on the internet making it up. That works for a little bit. But I'm here to tell you, you'll never be great making it up. Because somebody will always, you can't fool everybody. And one of the worst feelings in the world is being in a room where you look around and you realize that everybody know way more than you. So at that point, what you should do is you be quiet and listen. But we got a bunch of people who say the loudest in the room is the rightest. The loudest in the room is getting all the... Todd Monken is resetting the structure. And you say, G. Bush, what does this have to do with us? What does this have to do with 2,400 people in here? hold your water. My mom used to always tell me, I used to get riled up about a lot of stuff. I used to get people who were riled up. They picking on me, Mom. They picking on me. She said, listen, you control that. The way you are a salt in the world is up to you. If they don't give you a job, why would you cry on the internet about it? Go make one. If you know somebody is not credible, if you know somebody be throwing stuff out there, if you know people just be saying stuff, then laughing and you see it, that ain't on them, that's on you. That's on you. If you know somebody saying something untrue and putting something on your name and they just doing it to see if they can move your emotions, at some place, you have to be unmoved and unbothered by those who can never see what you see. Why would I try to educate people that are fools and refuse to learn, even though they have the capacity? Why would I argue with people who just love to argue for no reason because they want to feel validated because they want to win the argument today? Those people are people you should stay away from because they're not going to bring nothing to you except heartache, anger, and frustration. So when somebody jump out here and say this, that, and the third, you can either listen, you can react, or you can be unbothered. But remember, when you are unbothered, you take the oxygen out of the room. You take the oxygen smooth up out of the room. Because what you'll understand, according to Coach Monken, Deshaun Watson should be working. Shedeur Sanders should be working. Coaches should be working. Players should be working. That's the only thing that matters, your work. Not who can say it, not my sources, not what I heard, not the people in the building, because even if the people in the building say it, there ain't nothing a person in the building can do when I get on that football field. All it comes down to me is me and the man next to me. I don't care if the chief financial officer say, I think Deshaun Watson is great. Deshaun Watson better go out there and throw the football well. I don't care if they say Shedeur Sanders is the next coming. Shedeur Sanders better be ready to go and ready to get it. That's the only thing that matters. These little charades, I love doing shows, but sometimes you got to get real. None of what we do, say, will play a role in how these dudes go out and play. So therefore, there is no reason for you to be on the internet arguing with all them folks. Because guess what? They've already proved themselves wrong multiple times. There is no consequences for saying what you want to. They'll come back with some more stories. It's up to you to decide whether or not you believe them. And I like to say, history is a good indicator of what the future brings. Let's get to the super chats. Let's get to them. Smoke the difference. Canton here cooking with you, big bro. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We get to it. I thank you so much. Shout out to everybody out there too, by the way. Shout out. Y'all been too great. How many members we got? I think almost 7. We are closing in on 700 members. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate each and every one of your subscribers. Because without you guys supporting and doing what you guys do, we wouldn't be nowhere. We wouldn't be nowhere. And I love it because I feel it's a community. You know, a lot of people say that stuff. It's a community. We all family. Everybody family till something go wrong. But I feel that way because when I see people jump in these chats, I just, if I ain't heard from one of y'all in a while, or I'll be looking around. I say, man, I ain't seen Miss Bell in 2 days. We start to get looking around. Hey, what's going on? Where y'all see who? You see what I'm saying? I always wanted to build something with like-minded people that could come in and have a conversation and talk and enjoy company and tell stories, kind of like they used to do in the old days. Kind of, we used to sit on the porch, and my grandpa used to sit on the porch and wave to everybody. And I thought my grandpa was some sort of, man, this dude, the most popular dude in the world, bro. White, black people, young, old, they would come up. Hey, Mr. George, what you doing? He'd come sit on that porch. And they would always stop. Mailman, everybody. Back then, seemed like it was a much simpler time. Sometimes I catch myself going back to them times being like, man, what's the difference? We more and more isolated. We more and more by ourselves on islands. We more and more don't see us interacting. I watch abandoned mall movies, right? It's kind of morbid, but I think I try to psychoanalyze myself and say, why do I watch these abandoned building movies and malls? And I said, because it's almost like reliving. It's like reliving your childhood, but after you watch it, it's almost like the death of your childhood too. It's like back then it was a time where just getting dropped off at the mall was everything that you wanted. You just go to the mall, and if you didn't have no money, you just was going to look, but it was a place to be. I think it was the connection of community is what we all love. And I think now as society grows and the internet changes and the way we look at life changes, I think that the barbershop is a good place. It's almost like a community gathering place, which I think is the coolest part. Always J Twist. Monken is the best thing that happened for the Browns and Cleveland media. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. What's up, man? Always J Twist, man. Listen. He came out like, listen, he was cooking. He was cooking, man. He was cooking, bro. I can't even hate. I can't. There were so many things. There were so many nuggets that he was dropping in real time. And I'm like, man, we finally got somebody that want to win, that understand and want to really get to it. Black Angus, MK says DY is in the league is not rocket science. He's a 10-year vet, 3 Pro Bowls, but he hasn't played well in over 3 years. Can't stay healthy. We'll see what will happen. Just win. And that's the thing I wanted to talk about too. I'm preemptive on this, bro. You're not about to see me out here tearing down Deshaun Watson because you throw his name out there. Y'all can actually stop with that right now. Y'all can actually stop with that right now, because I was here before Shedeur Sanders got here, and I understand how y'all talked about Deshaun Watson and still talk about him. So let's not do the like we gonna tear one of them down. Nah, bro. We're gonna have a competition. We're gonna see who's gonna win. And so that's not gonna happen with me. And I urge people to not take the bait, because it's only gonna get worse. Do not take the bait. There's gonna be dudes on the internet. Oh yeah, this guy's this, and what they want you to do is jump on the internet, start turning it. This is half the reason why they don't let them talk to him. The first question is, what is your relationship with Shedeur Sanders? It's either that or have you finished all the allegations yet? Like, here's you got to think about it. And you would really see it, because if they put him in front of the screen, they can't help themselves. They're going to ask him some of the same stupid questions that they asked Shedeur Sanders. Actually, to be truthful, they probably should let him talk to him, because then it would out what they doing to start with. Go ahead and let him talk to him. Because, but the Browns know that it would be tearing down 2 quarterbacks at once. If you think I'm lying, you tell me. What hey, put it in the chat. What is the first question that they would ask Deshaun Watson if they had an opportunity to talk to him? Put it in the chat. Also, for all my detractors, I don't even know if I got any because I don't pay attention to y'all. Now I'm playing. If a lot of people think I'm a conspiracy theorist, can somebody give me one reason? How is it Deshaun Watson is the leader in the clubhouse and so many people in the organization love what he's doing and how he's looking? And he's looked so good that he is the leader in the clubhouse. Can somebody tell me what is the natural reason and why? In simple terms, nobody has been granted an interview with the person who is the most highest paid person on the team, who is the most tenured quarterback, who has the inside track to be the quarterback, according to certain people, and has been here, and we haven't talked to him since a catastrophic injury and a re-injury. Can you give me one legitimate reason there has not been one interview allowed by Deshaun Watson or the Cleveland Browns? I would just like to have the conversation because maybe you could tell me. Just me. G. Bush, tired, Spanula. G. Bush, tired of the media pushing this shaky Shedeur narrative folks know it's misleading yet published anyway. Then other Cleveland media treats it as facts, is disingenuous and disrespectful. Keep them honest. You know, I mean, but then again, you would, but you should, but you probably, you understand that they, why would you think that those individuals would just switch up overnight though? Like, they was writing these articles last year. They have championed every quarterback in college, every free agent in the NFL, every NFL draft candidate. They've championed all those people over him to start with, even when he was playing. Why would you think they would change up now? They're not. And they know that. So if you know that, and I know that, you know, the best way to do it is, man, I ain't clicking on that. I ain't doing none of that. I'm cool. I'm straight. Let me just chill out right over here. Eric Showers says, thanks for the content. No, thank you for your support. Thank you so much and to everybody in the chat for pulling up, man. Tanya, they saw what he did at Jackson State in Colorado. He made sweet lemonade out of lemons, legendary. They understand if you give this kid some weapons, this mofo is over. Manning who, child, please? Well, I'm telling you, Tanya. Well, that's the way you got to do it. What's the best way to do it? If you want to crown the valedictorian without, competition, like Todd Monken says, just don't let the rest of the students take the test. That's what they are. That's what you're advocating. Sean Richardson. Good morning, Bush family and the new Cleveland chat. Let's go. We in here. Good morning. Top of the morning, everybody. Martin Jackson says, MKC. Tether, Shedeur Sanders, two people. But she knows saying BS like that will get 1 million of fans to click on, ignore all the content from the get-go. Don't click. I agree. I told y'all, and then too, I also, there's more engagement. Guys, what is the downside? Is there any downside to, there's no downside to putting your opinion out there. It's not like, oh, you got 3 million views, clicks. You right back at it. Cleveland.com, hey, listen, your employer love it. It's engagement. She worded it well. where there wouldn't be nobody that could say, well, you blatantly did this. It was, it was worded. The title was good. She made it be like, oh, I said this. And so that's another thing too, y'all got to get. Everybody that's traditional print media, that medium is over. That traditional print media is over. Traditional television news is over. That's done. Everything is moving to a hybrid. So in order to generate, and this is not even a knock against her, this is just what it is. To generate interest, you're going to have to compete in this space. And to do that, nobody cares about the third team offensive guard. Think about if she would have just said, right now it's 50-50, Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders right down the middle. You think that's a million view article? No, that's like 12,000. And people are like, well, tell us something we don't know. I'm just letting you know what it is. Right? Like that's not gonna move the needle. It's not gonna move the needle. So that's just where we're at now. That's for me being being a producer. See, that's for me. A lot of people don't know. I produced years before I did shows. So when I come from topics, I come from production, hosting, marketing, all of it. I come at it from I look at it from a lens, and from a promotion and marketing standpoint, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. And trust me, there's going to be others. See what happens when you get that amount of views? Now you got to understand. Yeah, it's cool. Now it's an open place. You know what I'm saying? It's an open place to get your money off. So now somebody else. But here's what happens. Somebody has to escalate. And somebody has to say something that's a little bit more over the top. And then they might get the same amount of views, a little more. And then it begins to escalate. Right? I'm just giving you the math. Nicole B, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Brody's bottom line, sad thing is the Cleveland media don't even like for it at all. Brody, you've been here. How many times Brody, you've been here. How many times was we having arguments back and forth about Deshaun Watson? I mean, they don't like this dude. It's the reason why they won't let him talk. Because they know like how it gets. Sean Richardson, I'm patiently waiting for my member gift. I hope my mailman hasn't robbed me like Tyvus. Actually, Tyvus did get his. Tyvus, I need you to come out. We got Sean Richardson. Sean Richardson. She said, oh, we said, yeah, I had to make sure. We don't play. But no, Tyvus got here. Tyvus, you need to come out and you need to show the picture. Stop playing around. T Storm, stop giving Cleveland media any of my mind months ago, unless Monken, AB, or the barbershop speak. It's just noise. T Storm, I appreciate you, man. Welcome. Thank you so much for being down 7 months. You were OG. Yeah, man. Think about this. We ain't even seen no. Watch this though too. You do know some of these so watch. Okay. So I'm going to give you a tidbit. You do know when the season starts, right? You do know when the season starts that you can't have what's the name, right? You know when the season starts, you know you can't have people at practice. So the beat reporters can watch them work out. The beat reporters can watch them and warm up but then they have to leave. So we are to the point where these ain't even open practices yet. But trust me, I'm going to throw this out there to y'all too. How y'all feel? So I'm going to go to camp, and I would have to work. I would have to really do. What do you guys think? Let me know. I could do barbershop camp updates. What you think about that? Now, camp usually is around in the morning. Now, the great thing about it is I'm not on UCS during the off season, but 3 days a week. Now, when the season hits, I'm 5 days a week. So the days that I'm off, which I'm usually off Tuesday. No, I'm off Wednesday and Thursdays. I think I could do some camp updates from that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. All right, let's get to it. D-Dog says, the buck breaking continues. He told him that they can't break his spirit. He told them to stop being negative, try to put him in his place. Yeah. And then they was like, Todd Monken came and put them in their place. Like, nah, we're not about to do that. Cleveland media has turned into clickbait. Jason Cozy, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen, it's gonna get a little crazier because due to the fact that there's so many people that are going to be covering. You're going to be competing with national media people now. You're going to be competing with, CBS and Fox and NBC and ESPN. Those guys are going to be coming down here. So you got to compete for story time. Tanya says, not one auntie over Watson jersey for Christmas. Yeah, that too is definitely on the Cleveland Browns website. That too is out in front and ready to go. Notice how Mary Kate went to misogyny when she rebutted Shiloh. That was a low down a nasty trick. Then Coach Monken basically destroyed her credibility. Exaggeration. I want a tooth for a tooth, though. That's funny. Tremaine Johnson, we appreciate you. Yeah, I think. Look, one of the things that we talked about, I always say, bro. Yeah, I was always told, do not mention people's names. I don't talk about people's kids. I don't talk about people outside their framework. I don't talk about none of that. So if I'm having something to do about a player, I'm gonna talk about that player and what they're doing on the floor. None of that other stuff. And you open yourself up to the interpretation when you mention people. Tremaine Johnson, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Martin Jackson says, don't click none of the content. Let G. Bush give one click, and then G gets a million clicks torching them. Give no interactions to them. Turn their steak to grits. Grits get cold quick. Grits, man, you better get them grits. And boy. Nancy says, Peyton Manning has been my favorite quarterback up to this point. The thing I would not call him is athletic. He's a pocket passer. Yet look at his career. Tua is a pocket passer, but has a lot more athleticism than he gets credit for. Nancy, I see Sean King was on with Bull. And one thing he said, which I think was accurate. Matter of fact, I'm going to just show it. I think I got the clip. I think I got it. I don't. I'm not gonna. I'll get it. I will get it. But I think what he said was, Deshaun Watson, when you watch him play, he has a better over. What he does is he looks the part. His ball kind of comes out with some zip. He really looks good when he gets back to his back foot. He throws a really tight spiral. The problem with that is, and then Sean King went on to say is, but when the bullets are flying, Shedeur has more moxie. He has more grit. He has more intangibles. He has more, like, all be damned, I'm about to get it done. there's something that happens with Shedeur Sanders when the lights come on that put it to a point where it's like, yo, we ready to go. Like, he just gets it done. The Real Night King, can we draft local media members who actually love the team and want to see us succeed? Damn, New Cleveland, stand up. Well, actually, you guys do draft people. That's why I try to give people, always understand your worth. Understand your worth. You have power, more power than you understand. And it's about your power resides in your choices that you make every single day. You know, a lot of people in our community don't understand their purchasing power. A lot of people in our community don't understand that you know, there's so many dollars, or not even, I don't even make it about money, but it's about your eyes, your views, what you do, how you interact. There is the whole media ecosystem is different. You choose every day who you watch, who you click on, what programs you see, right? That's your currency. So if you feel like somebody is not being accurate, if you feel like somebody is not doing a good job to represent what you need as a consumer, then your power is moving other places that you believe in. A train of thought. Basically, Ty said, I don't give a you know what about none of that. Facts. He's just like, man, listen, man, you hit me with all that extra stuff, bro. You missed me with that. You know what I'm saying? You missed me with that. Jazz says Cleveland media has questioned Shedeur's character, his intelligence, love of game, and asked if he was humble, took shots at his family. Shedeur keeps handling it all with his chin and chest up. That's why we support too. And that is factual. Also throw in the fact that they said he went to the projects because he was trying to do a photo op. There ain't been too many times where I was upset, where I've been mad, but I mean, that day I was mad. I just got a problem with that, man. Don't listen. You ain't never been to the hood in the projects. You ain't planning on going to the hood of the projects. You don't know nobody that's been in the hood in the projects. You sitting there telling me what somebody did for a photo op. If you not going, you ain't been there, you ain't from there, you don't know nobody from there, and you're living in gated communities, running around here, going to these grocery stores where everybody look the same. You don't talk about what people doing is for a photo op. It's the only time I've been literally like mad at what people say, but I always say, keep your peace. I'm so glad God has you and Rosie, Moneyman, KSAP, Tim's, a Big Snack. Shout out to Big Snacks, by the way. Hashtag New Cleveland Media. Shout out to Snacks, everybody that's doing content, man. Anything but Shedeur is not just quarterback. It's anyone, period. Tanya said 5th round pick as Red Republicans show up to the Titans game. Why? Pending deposits. Stop playing with me. Hey, by the way, he's very popular in a lot of places. Man, y'all got to understand this. This is a title bout. We're gonna be talking about this all summer, ain't we? You know how much money they're gonna make off this? They might sell out preseason games. Deshaun Watson is gonna get the first quarter. Shedeur Sanders is gonna get the second quarter. Oh, Shedeur Sanders is starting. Then Deshaun Watson gonna come in. Man, y'all better stop. Is anyone reporting diligent? Is anyone reporting DG took all the reps day 3? Boy. Oh my goodness, Miss Duke one of me. Oh my goodness, you funny. That it has not been reported that Dylan is in the mix. It's obvious that Todd Monken is ignoring the memo, and don't they realize that Jimmy Haslam is a businessman? 4 is not good for the bottom line, and 2 is ATM. Therefore, 4 will not start. Plus 2 is a better player. I think they underestimate Jimmy Haslam and his marketing genius. He's like, hey, we might want to backtrack on this. You think, by the way, Jory Epstein had this thing, she was talking about it on UCSS, how they have these analytic machines where they would plug in in a machine and just let you know exactly who the Browns should be taking based on who was left on the board and based on who they had. And it got me to thinking, if you have not, they've already done the market research. They've already done the market research to understand exactly what's going on. So for me, I think that they've already done the analysis, the market analysis, and saying that, all right, this is how much money we make if Shedeur starts. This is how much money we make if Deshaun starts. Here's the pros and cons of both starting. I think they've already done that. And I also think that they've already done the market research to understand that the best way forward is to tell them, guess what? To let you know what we're doing. Because it puts everybody it's hard to attack one specific person if you don't know which one is going to be the starter. Because if they name Deshaun the starter now, there's going to be people that are going to trip out. If they name Shedeur the starter, there's going to be people to trip out. So why don't we just let them just hang in the middle? Nancy said you could tell that the media is not paying any attention to the owner front office. They're trying to change all the negative narrative around the team. I could tell by the way they're moving and their new PR being pushed, new stadium. They are. Nancy, you saw it. I think I think they've done a conscious effort to change the way the perception is. And a lot of people don't understand. The stadium is a political thing because the city, and which is run by Democrats, and the state and the federal government, which is run by Republicans, there was a big going back and forth. People didn't want them to take the stadium outside of the city. Right, there was a whole big thing with Mayor Bibb going back with Haslam. He had to pay, I don't know, I forget how much it was. He had to pay the city to kind of get out of the lease, to get out and to go out to Brook Park. But that was a whole political thing. And so what you're seeing is a conscious effort to change the way people's perception is. And one of the biggest distractions that you can have is a guy like Shedeur Sanders, because people not going to talk about that dome. You're not even think about this. They got a groundbreaking, right? If the Cleveland Browns did not have a quarterback competition, they would have a groundbreaking, right? People would be arguing back and forth about whether or not people should even left the city or whether or not Jimmy Haslam should be allowed to move the team. They'd be talking about that. Nobody cares about that because you got a quarterback competition. You got to think about that. Shedeur Sanders gives you political cover in a lot of different things that you wouldn't necessarily have. But then again, I'm just talking to the educated folks. Maybe you just think I'm a conspiracy theorist. G. Bush, you doing too much. The Sith Lord, wild work. Alexander Gallant, man. No, man. Darth Plagueis. Darth Tenebris. Come on, man. You know, Sith is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That dark side, that dark force, boy. He a Jedi, but he'll get creative, bro. He was using them force powers in there. Ken was looking like, I don't want no parts of him. Anthony here, Bull says if Watson starts, that means Monken thinks Shedeur is terrible. Monken says Shedeur had been an elite playmaking ability. Why do people keep putting their opinions over what the coach is actually saying? Because that's the new. I told y'all. In this new day and age, people equate being the loudest and the most persistent as being right. Even I had to come out with the clips because nobody said that. That's not necessarily true. Well, why do you think that? I don't think he meant that. I don't think this happened. I don't think that happened. Listen, the moon landing didn't happen. The world is flat. I don't know. Wherever floats your boat, man. But it seems pretty obvious that he said there was no guy that was leading the quarterback competition. see. Here's how I would ask the question. Now, here's how you phrase it. If you really wanted to get, now I shouldn't even give him. Should I give it to him, Rosie? Rosie looked at me like, "Don't you be giving no secret stats away." She's like, "You shut your mouth." If you really wanted to get the answer that you wanted, you shouldn't ask open-ended questions like that. Like, you should ask questions that you want to ask about the best of somebody. You to ask a question and say, Coach, do you think the best of what Deshaun Watson, the best of what Deshaun Watson is good enough to lead the Cleveland Browns to where they want to go? Now, when he hears that, he has to then think, well, now I gotta phrase it in a positive light because it's the best. And then he would have to then go down the memory banks and say, well, I remember him at Clemson. I remember he was a top 3 quarterback with the Texans. I remember when he did this. And I'm telling you what, if we can get that out of him, I mean, that quarterback is great. That quarterback will be great. And then a follow-up question would be, well, what would you do to get him back there? You see, this is why they don't invite. This is why they don't invite me nowhere. Don't steal my questions. But that is, if you were really wanting to get devious, if you wanted to get into how you would move it, see, then you can splice that up and you can cut that up and say, okay, well, look, he's sitting here telling about how good Deshaun Watson was. And then here's the plan to get Deshaun Watson back. And then you could take it purely out of context and it would splice together, look crazy. Because it's going to say, it's like, dang, bro, this dude is going down the memory lane with Deshaun Watson. He said this is his plan for how he going to get. But then again, I just studied this stuff. Don't worry, I got Shedeur Sanders questions too. I'm just telling you how to get it if you really wanted to get cute. Don't steal that. All first verse. That was a little rebuttal. Nancy, but one thing that always hurts is that the media has negative narrative all the time about owner and team. They don't give them credit for learning or growing. Well, that's because they want to keep you in one spot. Because remember, people are averse to change. You're averse to change. We like to keep you static. There are a lot of people that don't have a problem with me and what I say. The problem that they have with me is that I moved into a different space. It's easier when somebody perceives them to be higher than you. They keep you in a little box and place, and oh, that's a nice little. But when you start growing, when you start leveling up, when you start winning, when you start changing the way you think about things, when you start maturing, when you start succeeding, people want to keep you in one little space. And I'm not just talking about me. There's people out there right now. Somebody out there is trying to lose some weight. You losing weight. People looking around. At first, you lost 5 pounds. Oh, it's cool. I'm so proud of you. You lost 10 pounds. Oh, you really working. You lost 15 pounds. You are inspiration. You done lost 20 and you're starting to get down to the dress size that they in. All of a sudden, you don't want to lose too much weight now. You don't want to look too, is your eating ready? Listen, when I was eating cakes 7 times a day, you had no problems feeding me cakes. Now, all of a sudden, you think I'm anorexic and I just got a disorder because I done lost 20 pounds and my blood pressure is down. Maybe you don't like it because I'm getting to the weight where you thought you was and was always going. Never mind, G. Bush. This is why. I'm sorry. Anthony, media rushes to defensive end, okay? But are silent with all the dog whistles about Shedeur, paragons of virtue for others, silence for us. I will say this. Did you expect people to come to the aid of Shedeur Sanders? No. That's not going to happen. Ever. Locked in Bake. I know you've seen Deshaun last 7 years versus Shedeur last 7. Wild. That's another thing I like to say. I haven't, you say what you want. This is factual. I haven't seen Deshaun Watson play at that level he was playing in 5 years. But you've made the decision on Shedeur in 7 games. G. Bush, Roy says, G. Bush, why do people think that if you had 2 Achilles surgeries, you can come back and lead a team in the NFL to the promised land? Well, I've tore Achilles before, let alone leading to the promised land. I can't even wear the same shoes I used to wear. Kind of difficult, right? It's hard. We got to see if he can make it through camp. Ain't nobody even started hitting. There's no pads on. So we'll see. Sarita Allen says, Mary Kay got over 1 million views for the BS post. She must have planned a vacation coming up and needed to boost her ratings for that vacay money. She might be out of there. She might be somewhere on the beach laughing. Dog 9 said, I'll say it again. Mayweather versus Judah. HBO couldn't decide who they hated more. Merchant and Lampley were miserable calling that fight. No difference. That is a great comparison. I remember that. They hated Zab and Mayweather. Both of them. They couldn't decide. I remember, I said on UCSS, I said this 6 months ago. Say, well, what y'all gonna do when Deshaun Watson get back? Which one of you don't like more? This is 8 months ago. They just had the time to work to it. And the reason they didn't mention Deshaun Watson so much is because they still held out hope that they may get a free agent or they may draft somebody in the room. And when they didn't get anybody of note in terms of Ty Simpson or somebody that was going to compete for the job, it shifted to let's take a look at Deshaun Watson and see how we can move with this. T Love says, T Lavelle, excuse me, says, would you have taken Lemon and Vega over Casey and Fano? Boston will do numbers as a true X. I like Lemon better than I like Casey Concepcion. I would have possibly traded up for him where they were on the board in the 20s. However, I like the fact that Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston was a nice pairing. I thought that was a steal, and I like Fano. So, if you ask me, do I like Mekhi Lemon? Yeah, I liked him better. I would have probably traded up for him, but I don't have a problem with Casey and Boston because I think the pairing will work well. Jimmy Cleveland says Cleveland media is telling all the lies for the profit and notoriety. Have sold their souls. That's why Shedeur said, "How your children gonna feel about them later in life? Oh, they'll be all right." Look, I always tell people, it kind of puts it in perspective for you. Because your life is so finite and we got about 80 years on this little blue rock to do what we're going to do. I would not let none of my little days be messed up by what people is talking about. You got about 80 years on this rock if you're lucky. I'm 44. I got more years behind me that's in front of me. So, a lot of this stuff, I was just I was watching YouTube the other day about when you're younger, you think and you worry about a bunch of stuff. And somebody taught that it was a parable about a guy holding a rock. He said, hold this rock up. He said, now, if you hold this rock up for about 5 or 10 seconds, it ain't gonna hurt you. You won't even feel it. He said, but what if I told you to hold it up for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 24 hours? Pretty soon that little pebble starts to feel heavy. He said, that's what you talk about with worrying. You can worry about something for a few seconds and let it go, and it's nothing. But if you want to keep stuff and worry about it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, pretty soon, in about 4 or 5 months, if you worried about it, that's going to be a complete burden. That's going to be a stone around your waist, dragging you to the bottom of the ocean. Think about the stuff that you control, and the stuff you can't, let it go. Because guess what? As Todd Monken said, when are they going to play the football games? September. Why would I let somebody put urgency on me and it's April? I ain't worried about that. You say what you want, it'll all play out. Let's see where I'm at. Did I miss that? Oh, okay. Got you. The last Naga says, off topic a bit. That Lloyd point and laugh at Earl at the interruption that Earl was explaining a possible 10 wins was foul beyond foul, disrespectful. I always tell you like this. When you're in debate, there's another thing too. When you're in debate, they'll laugh. I mean, you can laugh and cut people off and do all that other stuff. At the end of the day, when you dealing with theater, you laugh, but you come back. I always tell what's the name? I shout out to her. I always tell people, the best way you come at a person is verbally joust. And you talk about 9 or 10 wins. I'll be like, I find it funny. It's hilarious. I find it ain't off topic. When Todd Monken mentioned Super Bowl, and when Todd Monken mentioned winning the division, and that's how it starts, nobody laughed at him. When Joe Thomas come up there and say, "Oh, the Browns are doing what they doing," when Baldy comes on and said the Browns is cooking, nobody laughs at him. So here's how you stop laughing. You say, "Why every time I say something, you get chuckly?" Well, these Hall of Famers are saying the Browns is going to do this. Bernie Kosar come up here and say they like Shedeur Sanders. I think Joe Thomas said that the Browns had a nice draft. I find it funny that you don't got that same heart to laugh at them when they be up here. Now it puts the ball back in your court, right? Because we all just verbally jousted, right? I remember back in the day, we see they used to, they used to laugh, and they used to laugh and call me the Duke and knee jerk. They said G. Bush is a clown. I say I'm Big Circus. Put some respect on my name. Sarita Allen, whatever ship Shedeur is on, I'm going to support him. I'm a fan of this young man and his talent. My Steelers should have took him. I love Mike Tomlin, but it was a bad decision not to pick him. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, man. I think he's going to be on NBC now. And I don't know what's going on with Chris Sims. It's going crazy over there. Mr. Johnson said they want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed quarterback because that's who they identify with. Identity in this world is a thing. We identify with somebody. But I like what Todd Monken said. I'm going to let everybody take the test. When I'm supposed to just pick somebody, why? Because the way they look, the way they act, whether they're a man or a woman, I'm going to let all the students take the test. I thought that was dope. Let's keep going. T. Lavelle says, Shedeur, Taylor, Gabriel, then Deshaun, respectively. Look, I always tell people like this. You got to make it through camp. Kenny Pickett was getting reps at one point in time, then he pulled his hamstring. All right. Patrick Williams, Jiba Shedeur will play. The question is when. When he plays and wins, a quarterback will not be drafted in 2027. I tell you this. I think, and another thing that we got to always understand too is what they're also setting up with this is if Deshaun Watson has been given all of these things and they get them to agree and echo that Deshaun Watson is awesome, and then Shedeur Sanders beat out Deshaun Watson, how can you then have any credibility when you then are going to say, why is Shedeur Sanders starting? He shouldn't be starting. Well, no, you all told us all offseason Deshaun Watson was cooking. You said he's back to regular to go. Shedeur beat him out fair and square. He's the starting quarterback. Then what can you say? Nothing. It's a good thing about conversation. Nita says it's time to pivot and use emotional intelligence. Thank you, Nita. Listen, stop wasting time telling Cleveland media they're wrong. They don't care. Shedeur and Deshaun Watson play for the love of the game, not money. We can support Shedeur without tearing down Deshaun Watson. No money to the media. This is beautiful. You really, this is the sentiment. It don't matter. It won't matter. If you keep telling them, it won't matter. They're going to continue to do it. Got my green screen working. Remember, there is always a beast that makes the monsters fear. You guys make the monsters in traditional media tremble. The pub_sports. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Lindsay Wade. They're excited by the thought that of Coach Monken developing everyone, but are afraid of him develop. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't go too far, Coach. Don't be getting everybody ready to go. You get everybody else ready on the team, but not him. Martha Cole says, shots fired. He said, despise crappy football. I love Todd Monken. Yeah, I like that too. All that we talk about 27. No, we're not. CBS Rick, a Hall of Fame pass has nothing to do with zero credibility today. Let's get back to the draft positivity and new rookies, jerseys, numbers. Barry and Monken and Shedeur equals division title. Nish speaking, Shaolin Monk is inside, seeing the dereliction of duty and willful malfeasance that is taking place here. That test taking analogy was a shot at Kevin Stefanski. He said a couple of things in there I thought it was layered up cold. Martha says, I like AB, Todd Monken, Shedeur Sanders. Some team members, some of the new draft class are sounding the same, confident, standing 10 toes down. Facts. Tanya says trend, hashtag trend makes, I ain't gonna say that. White bread only though. Lindsay Away said the reset is also for Watson and Shedeur. He's resetting the quarterback room and developing, and then he wants to see what they're going to do with it. Facts. Seems like we're pretty level-headed over here, guys. Seems like we're just level-headed. Gotham Labs, G-Bush, you're on fire today. Like I always say, when the suds die down, the dirt will show. Here we go. And that's a good analogy because we about to see all of this. Ready to go. Joe Station. Remember, people, excuses are the bricks that build the house of failure. Ooh, I was cold. Dang, Joe. Dang, that was fire. You ever say sometime in your life, man, I wish I would have said that. I wish I'd have said that, man. Two graduated yesterday. Congratulations. Shout out to Shedeur. Get that education. You see how you unbothered? I'm gonna go get my little degree tomorrow. My little degree. I seen Coach Prime at the jewelry store with his lovely significant other. They seem to be quite unbothered at this point, don't they? They're quietly unbothered lately. Rev, what's up, Rev? BJ Nelson. Master barber, cordon bleu chef. Greatness requires a godliness to success, full, not arrogance. Old people say, can't be a know-it-all. Sat down, not seat down. Can't do it. Can't be a know-it-all. Actually, the smartest people are always ready and willing to admit that they don't know nothing. That's why I always try to continue to learn. I try to be a lifelong learner. I try to be a person. I like sitting up underneath the old folks. One of the best things that I ever did was before my grandmother passed, is I got an opportunity to sit down and talk to her about our family. See, for me, I got an aunt on my dad's side, my Aunt Shirley. And I got there's I think my Aunt Gail and some of the other people, my mom have been dabbling in our family tree. And one of the things is, as a Black person, going back through the annals of time, trying to be the curator of your family tree it's a burden, bro. I didn't understand it, but it's a burden, because you start to go back and you get to the 1800s and 1812, and everybody has that thing where you just want to get your family tree as close. But the depressing thing is, your lineage just stops. Your name, your culture, it just stops. You see what I'm saying? Like, everybody could tell me where they came from. Like, it's not morbid, but it's a thing. You're like, everybody else. I even take DNA tests just so I can get to, all right, where this is where your father's line traced from. And obviously, if you do a DNA test, they can get you back to Africa, and they can get you back to where your gene pool is. That way, almost 10,000 years ago, or years ago, before that, the migration patterns. But it's crazy because everybody else can there's record. There's, Black people don't have that, which is crazy. Still crazy to this day. J Max says, AB is following Ryan Pohl's blueprint, G. Got weapons, offensive line, offensive guru. So to go from last to first is not far-fetched. I've seen it with my Bears. Of course it is. Half of it is the system you was running. Half of it is confidence. And then half of it is, can guys take the next step and get better? Call me no commie. Do you think you should be the starter, DY? That's the first question. Oh. There was a guy. I don't know if that's you. I used to watch this dude. He used to play video games. I'm big into, I used to play video games, but I watch people play video games now because I don't have time. So I watch people play fighting games. So the fighting game community, there's a guy named No Kami. He used to do DBZ fighters joints. Also, I think it was Grand Blue. I think he played Grand Blue. So shout out to No Kami. Had a crazy YouTube channel. I don't know if that's you or not, or is this common, but that's one of the questions that I think people would ask. We got to do that. Lawrence RB8. G. Bush, a little disappointed that some tried to chastise Shiloh as opposed to checking the liar. I wonder if Mary Kay will call Coach Monken a liar like she did Jarvis. It's a new day. Lies get checked. I just said, man, listen. She mentioned his name. Come on, man. You mentioned his name. I can't tell him how to react to it. You said his name. Like, you didn't have to say the man's name. And at the end of the day, for me, I'm not into the business of, hey, what I would say and what you would say is two different things. But I always thought that if you open yourself up to that, that's the thing. Ms. Bell, if Cleveland media doesn't stir the pot, they'd be unemployed. If they really knew to the game, they'd have content. By the way, that is kind of true. People, you can create content with everything if you know the game. It's all kind of different things you can do. I don't got to play no tabloid game. I could just talk football and be perfectly fine. Crow Dog became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Crow Dog. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Bo the Boss, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you, my guy. Jab says Lima was clearly paying Monken to take the shot at Shiloh's comments, and Monken didn't bite. At the same point, somebody needs to call Lima out. Constantly tearing down your team ain't journalism as agenda. Well, he would probably tell you that he's not I would say on that platform, he's an opinion person. So that's where everybody keeps. The thing is, journalism is gone. It's done. Journalism is out of here. Everybody is operating as an opinion. So that's where we are with that. So that's why a lot of times people get confused. They're like, journalists have been saying that? I'm like, no, these are content creators. Keisha says, I've been trying to transition from just a Shedeur fan to Browns fan, but I must say that the media really makes it an exhausting process. I just don't understand their losing mentality. Well, let me give you this. Your support of the team should be independent of the way the team is reported. And there are a lot of different people, and it's just, and by the way, the media and propaganda is difficult because for every positive story, there's 9 negative ones. And those 9 negative ones are the ones that are going to get circulated because they give you the most emotion. And because it gives you the most emotion, people are the most passionate. So it almost adds more fuel to it. And then that is what the algorithm picks up. But in terms of the football, right? I've always said my goal here is to show you and how these players move and what the Browns potentially can do. And just know that most of the news prior to this was super positive for the Browns, right? It was super positive for the Browns, especially what they did in the draft. But that's just part of the game. I wouldn't let that be something that distracted me. There's lots of great players on this team. There's lots of great things like Casey Concepcion. There's lots of good things that these players are doing that like really can help you out. Like even with this, man, like people don't know this. I'll show you guys this. Let me show you. People don't even know this. Here we go. I'm going to show you this because just so you see it, right? People will tell you ain't nobody did nothing. But let me just show you that people still be doing stuff in the community, right? Even before this was it. Deshaun Watson opening up a restaurant. You know you got to support 216 in the building. We're going to see if you got some good food. We're going to see if you got some good service. And most of all, we're going to see how the people of Cleveland feel about it. It's a barbershop, UCSS, all that and more. You see it? Earl the Pro in the building.
Earl the Pearl, my big brother, G. Bush. Hey. We out here repping Fo the right way.
Come on in here.
Y'all know how we do it.
It's a rough dog in the house. Big dog Will in the house. The real true dog gonna show up. We had G. Bush in the building lot on the dog bus. Hey, what else?
Adam the Bull. Yeah. Everybody in there. Mikey McNuggets.
Keep going,
it, baby. We
keep going.
I watch y'all every day.
Shout out to Deshaun Watson. He got it popping out here. He got the music going. He got family. He got friends out here. He's out here doing his thing. And we out here supporting.
Can we get a shout out? Tomorrow's his birthday. He's special needs.
Happy birthday.
What's your name? London.
Happy birthday, London.
Thank you.
Deshaun, G. Bush, WKYC. Why cheesesteaks?
Cheesesteaks. I mean, best cheesesteak in the world right here.
Best cheesesteaks in the world?
Hands down.
What made you want to support the inner city? This is big. You see the people showing love out here. It's deep. What made you pick this location?
It was just the best location for people to be able to see the brand. We want to be able to be right in the center, as close as possible to everyone in the city, so they can come by and see, get some good food, some fellowship, and just support the city.
We appreciate you. Talking to the quarterback guru right here, Quincy Avery. He speak his mind. You stand on business, dog. Can we get you a record and give us a win record for the Browns this year? Can we do that? Oh, your man's gonna look at you crazy. They're gonna like, no, don't you do that.
What are you gonna do? That's your man, right?
Let's go 12-5.
Listen, I'm greedy, Deshaun. He said 12-5. I need 4,500. He trying to shut everybody up. Contrary to popular belief. Remember, I said 4,500. Remember that? Listen. See, a lot of people don't be understanding. I told you. Listen, I don't care what you do. You see, let me tell you this. I don't care what you do. I care about what you do for your community, what you do for your people, what you do for the streets. What you do, what do you do, right? Cats be trying to act like, yeah, oh, G. Bush, you be doing it. No. We independently put this out. How long ago was this? We independently put this out. We put this out, like, what are we talking about? Huh? 2 years ago? Okay. A win record for the Browns this year. Can we do that? Oh, your man's gonna look at you crazy. They're gonna like, no, don't you do that.
What are you gonna do? That's your man, right? Let's go 12-5.
Listen, I'm greedy, Deshaun. He said 12-5. I need 4,500. He trying to shut everybody up. Contrary to popular belief, the city of Cleveland got love for Deshaun Watson.
It's good to see. You know what I'm saying? We see it.
We had to pull up, man. I appreciate you, man. Mary Kay winner, the Hall of Fame. Look at this. And people think I be hating. People think listen. Now, I just want to show you. When it comes to this media thing, Mary Kay, the question is to the people. There is a sighting with G. Bush and Mary Kay. You see that? Sit down and get one of these cheesesteaks. It might be double meat. I think we might have to sit down and see me actually get into it. See, this is the type of Browns fans we got in here, man. This is how we get down. He got pads on under this. Full trip. The food, like, how long did it take you to get ready to come up here today?
Man, you know, this is my Sunday clothes. You know that.
Hey, listen. I support the Browns. Y'all not in the streets like this. I support the Browns, I don't be doing a bunch of, listen, where's all the footage from y'all pulling up where's the events? Where is it? I'm confused. And we're going to try that food. So we got to taste the cheesesteak. Okay. If you in Cleveland, you got to have a corned beef. So you got to get that. Corned beef egg rolls. What else? And the mother earth rolls. Yeah. We want to do them. What else? Two corned beefs. And then, what else? We want wings. Every single day I feel the pressure. I think Deshaun might have wrapped this homemade for me, dog. We don't even wait. We take it right out the bag. Look at this. Now, a good sign of a cheesesteak is, do you have grease on the outside of the paper? You see that? You see that? Then hook me up. Bread, salt. Let's get to it. You're doing too much, G. Bush. Look at your face all big, eating them cheesesteaks. You can't come to Cleveland without the corned beef, man. So let's check that out. What you got over there? What you got? The corned beef. I got the burger. Good flavor. Gotta get that picky. I love the corned beef. Let's try some of these egg rolls, man. Come with the $1,000 dipping sauce. Not everybody can do wings. Hey, these hit different. Every single day I feel the pressure.
We're here with the mayor of University Heights, Mayor Brennan. Mayor, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How did we come into this being here at University?
See, let me just tell y'all something. You see how, like, don't let them tell you me and Earl ain't been in the streets. That's why when people be laughing, we be in the streets. We gonna talk to the mayor. When the community does something, we pull up. We're gonna pull up, we're gonna shoot it, we're gonna show love. I'm just confused that where was everybody? Okay.
Well,
it's been a long process, and you know, I wish I could say it was an overnight success, but like every overnight success, it was years in the making. We've been working on renovating this property for years with the previous ownership. Lefties came along and bought it and finished it out, and it's beautiful what they've done here. We got the grand opening, we got Deshaun Watson here, we got Sam Berry, the founder of Lefties Cheesesteaks here. We got a lot of Coach Stefanski was here earlier. We got a lot of great Browns fans, Browns players, people from the city, residents, just lots of excitement here in University Heights about what is happening here at Lefties Cheesesteaks.
Hey, listen, man, we out here, man. We came, we saw,
Conquer.
we conquered, we ate. Hey, it's beautiful to see how many key people came out to support Deshaun Watson doing something in the community.
I'm from this side of town. I grew up in this area. Like, the love was shown, man. So it just lets you know, man, the stuff that we see on social media, that's just a small microscope of what's really going on, man. That's what's really going on.
As you can see, we're just showing you a little part. At the end of the day, we support the Browns. We put on for the city. That's how we move. Let's keep it moving. Boulder Boss says, what if the media could lose their jobs based on what they said? They would report things honestly. Well, listen, it's the freedom of the press. Now, it's very libel and slander is very hard to prove. You have to in a court of law. So let's go with David Walker. Hey, G and fam. The reason the media can't understand two's following. Hey, by the way, you see what we taught? Hey, you see how we move in Shedeur? You know, we might have to come out to an undisclosed location and talk. You see how we can shoot that up? You see how we come holler at you? Talk to you, man. We do something. Hey, listen, we could put together a nice little film or something and we hang out, man. Listen, let's get it done, man. Fifth Dimension Media. Let's get it done, fellas. Let's see. Hey, G-Fam, the reason the media can't understand two's following is because they wise enough to know that this is a spiritual thing and you can't understand spiritual matters. There you go. You show you can't. Show you can't. I mean, that to what it is it's in his hands. Petition for a married couple barbershop membership. Married couples, is that means like that's like if you married Keisha and then your husband is automatically in the barbershop. He already get indoctrinated. Beautifully blessed. Heck yes, give me a barbershop, anything, I'm here for it. Nita says, cheers to the Shedeur and his graduation from Colorado. We appreciate. Shout out to Shedeur and getting that paperwork. I know Prime is proud. His mom is proud. The real Night King, we appreciate you, my guy, for becoming a member. Lindsay Away, Cleveland Media makes every story their point of view. As a new Cleveland, I'm focused on the Browns players, and the Browns website has been refreshing. I think so, too. Beautifully blessed. It's a photo op to them because it's how they operate. All you have to do is let them talk, and they will show you who they are. The last Niga says, mustard seed, hashtag dangerous, hashtag new Cleveland. Nancy says there's a wild that's wild Deion Sanders is from the projects that taught his kids and brought them back there so they would understand it. Photo op is insulting. It was. It was the time it changed my mind about a lot of folks. I was hot. Through the Fire podcast, RBN says, you see how Monken came and validated Shiloh's statement by pay to play. Mary Kay weaponizing her platform is not a report, but use her opinion as facts. Monken stated in his with his chest, reporters giving their opinion and not facts. And then you know what he also did with y'all? You know what he also did with everybody? Is he said, if I didn't take it crazy like that, neither should you. It's just their opinion. So you can keep the same energy he do. If I'm worried about, hey, if that's the worst thing I'm worried about, it's the world we live in today. Thank you all for your foresight, receipts, and knowledge. We appreciate you, GB. Nicole, no, we thank you. And we want to thank you guys for your support. Because, I mean, honestly, if we don't have the support, nobody would care. Nobody would really this. You guys being here pushes this content out to people that are out there. So as many views as they get because they said something was inaccurate, you got to push the number of the people that get the views that's getting it out the real to these folks. Neil Gray, I trust coach with over 30 years of NFL experience and coach experience that a sports beat writer who hasn't played or coached in the sport, let Monken cook. I totally agree. Mrs. Williams, I think the coaches believe in two, and he's going to get the ball out this year. By the way, graduation was this morning. Congrats, too. Shout out to you. By the way, that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. Is the fact that he going around here, you listen, he could be doing a bunch of other stuff. That's the best way to put a bow on this. Right? It's the best way. Let's get that education together. That's something can't nobody say. I make all the money NIL, don't matter. While y'all was talking, arguing back and forth, I was going to get that documentation. You know what it is. No man's Rich says, let me know if you need me to shorten that song. Hey, by the way, that song was fire. We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that. I got a song coming up for the final cut. Fire. But yeah, give me that 30. Send me that 30. And that sounds crazy. Don't listen. I was not talking about any illicit things. 30-second clip. Yeah, send that to me. Reggie Bone, did you play the part where Monken said, I didn't say that? Did I miss it? No, I didn't even play that. I didn't even play that because that was just that was the main tweet. Nobody said that. That was somebody's opinion. The Real Night King, Mary Kay, why you breaking news? You know, I heard that the sky is red. Brown's looking to trade for Justin Jefferson. I'd be funny. See, I wouldn't do that because they would like I would play a joke and I would be like, guess what I heard the Browns is doing? It'd be something completely crazy. And Rosie looked at me. She said, "Don't you do not do that." She be so serious. We will not do that. I'm just joking. Just joking. J Kidd became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, J Kidd. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Sweetie says, hide your kids, hide your wife. Watson is outside throwing the ball again. Don't boo him. Let's have complete silence. If he plays, everybody on mute. I don't know. People, if he throws touchdowns, some people gonna cheer. And some people will boo in the beginning of it as well. Through the Fire podcast, I expect Shedeur to do what he always has done at every level. Have Cleveland given any thought to what will happen at contract time and Shedeur starts thinking about how terrible he's been treated, exit stage left? No, but he's going to see. Here's a great thing about it. As many people don't mess with Shedeur, there's a lot of people that do. Trust me. The people that are in the media are not the people on the ground. I can't go to a grocery store without people saying, man, I'm so glad you be talking that Shedeur stuff. I'm so glad you be like, you keep it real. Bro, the backing of what Shedeur is doing and what the community is and with the kids, he go to places, kids just be going crazy. It's not the same. That's why you got to give that pushback and say there's a different perspective, because the way the media work, it'll have you thinking of something totally different. I live in Cleveland. I'm at restaurants all the time. I'm in the public all the time. I'm at stores everywhere in Cleveland. And let me tell you, black people, white people, young people, old people, kids, upper class, middle class, low class, whatever the case may be. This dude got energy and followers throughout the spectrum of the culture. So what they're putting out is not necessarily the boots on the ground. That's why we show the pictures of people getting them jerseys for that hashtag New Cleveland. That's a whole movement. Bradley Fox. Todd Monken is like Goku, and the media is like the Ginyu Force. Hasn't revealed he's a Super Saiyan yet. Hashtag New Cleveland. You know what the what's the name is too? You said Ginyu Force. So I'm gonna go ahead, Bradley. You got this. You know how Captain Ginyu used to run around here and do the personality swap? And then he swapped bodies with Goku, right? And he thought he was gonna mess around and win. He said, "What you talking about? You can't body swap with me. I'm a Saiyan. Your body can't even control that type of energy." See, the National they be body swapping with people and just taking people's comments and running with it. You know what? I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna just no, you can't do that. You know, because you're gonna get that debunked. We ready to go. You can't control. If you didn't come up with the idea, how you gonna articulate it? CBS Rig, a Hall of Fame pass has nothing to do with zero credibility in the reports. Let's get back to the draft positivity, new rookie jerseys, Barry plus Monken, Shedeur, AFC North title. That's what's coming. I wholeheartedly believe. Lindsay Away says, can't wait till Bucky wins that full NFL media contract. Mess around and find out. Actually, bro, he already plugged in now. Really? Shout out to QB1 graduate from Colorado Day. Shout out to them. Bianca, we appreciate you. Vigilant Hawk, the Browns are a microcosm of Northeast Ohio culture difference in general. They want Cleveland to be a black city. They want it to be Nashville. The mentality has been sinking our region for decades. Let the Ohio players play. I always say this. There's a backwards tendency to it. Support your place. If the Browns are good, why would you not want the Browns to be good? When the Browns are good, local businesses thrive. Local businesses thrive, taxes can be raised. Money can, you got people that are aunties and people that like Shedeur Sanders, they come from out of town. They spend money at restaurants. They spend money everywhere. They spend money at the hotels. They come into your shopping places, right? The more dollars that you can make from TV contracts, right? Guys, it's an economic stimulus package, but we're backwards. It's the same reason that Ohio has the same a coastline and shoreline as Chicago. But go to Chicago and see what Chicago got on the waterfront. And go to Cleveland and see what's on their waterfront. An airport with nothing around it. Chicago looked like a metropolis. I mean, they got, but it ain't nothing. It's the mindset. You got to invest. But instead of investing, we're like, oh, let's take it out the city. But maybe I'm just talking. I ain't no politician. I'm just a little dude doing a podcast. Uncle Kai, everything I know I've learned, but I haven't learned everything. So there is to know. There it is. The smart people willfully admit, I don't know enough. DB Dog, I love the top. G Bush, I love the Todd Monken was honest about social media and seeing everything. He sees all the negativity from media, the 4 to 5 games they will win, the lack of talent, etc. I hope he uses that. He didn't already used it. He's talking to these folks behind the scenes. It's one of the reasons why what Cleveland Brown is talking out of turn. We ain't heard from Myles Garrett, Judy, Quinshon Judkins. Everybody's silent. That means they walk into one band. Vibe this. What's up? Born and raised Canton. I sent you the Welcome to the Barbershop theme song, hashtag New Cleveland. Look for my new Browns media content coming. Time for the new media to take over. Shout out to you, man. Let me know when that content coming. I'll subscribe to the channel, my guy. All right, Denver ATL, wasted time. Quarterback 1 is our loved. Quarterback 2 is our loved one. Let's go to Blade Germ. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining the family. Bigger V Express. You got to have barbershop chairs in your setup, family. Wrist up. I think we do got some barbershop. Don't we? Wait till we see them. Nice. Shout out to Rosie. Crow Dog G, I've been here for a while, but became a member today. Man, I want to thank you, man. I want to appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. And everybody, if you pulled up, if you showed us, if you sent a super chat, if you're just in the chat and you interacting, We want to appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for doing what you could do. It's 1,900 people over here still supporting hours into this stream. We want to thank you guys. And even if you don't, if you just put a comment or you like, I consider you a member as well. So thank you so much. Blade Germ became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Poke Wesley, G. Bush, let's partner on a restaurant for Shedeur economic boom. We need a safe place for the Shedeurians. Hey, man, you got a whole, listen, he got a whole economic stimulus package going. They want a restaurant. Sheesh. Rosie, can I borrow some money for a restaurant? She just shook her head. She said, I got to go to the bank. Yeah, Rosie actually owned a restaurant in the Philippines. What was it called? CCC Cafe? Yep. Coffee and Comfort Cafe. It was a study lounge. Boy, if you ever hear Rosie talk, it was the first of the kind in the Philippines. She laid it out. It was the first study cafe in the Philippines in Manila. It's a great story. You should hear her tell us sometime. Rosie, when you gotta put your videos out, man. When you gonna put your videos out, Rosie? All right. Jimmy Cleveland says, just hit up Shedeur at his graduation and told him when he gets a chance to give G. Bush an interview because he always got your back. Shout out to Shedeur. Shout out to Coach Prime. Shout out to Shiloh. Shout out to everybody in Colorado. And we appreciate y'all. Anybody that's watching. The Real Night King. Can't wait to see Shedeur at a Cavs game. You notice that he got to chill out a little bit. You notice he can't be in them Cavs. Them good boy. That he been laying low. I like the fact that he been laying low. He ain't been doing nothing. Through the Fire podcast, my alternate number 2, Browns and Orange, came today. I'm a Packer fan who already been captivated by G. Bush, King Carmen, and support to defend the unholy attack. And Shedeur and his family. I'm born and raised in Wisconsin, living in St. Louis. Shout out my cousin Larry and Desiree. They live in Wisconsin. Shout out to them. They are transplants in Wisconsin, but they are Browns fans. Well, I want to say this has been very enjoyable. We want to thank everybody for joining up today. That being said, you never know where G. Bush might show up for the internet, radio, television, or right here on the barbershop. If you want the fresh cut, we keep the clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And like I always told you before, even though they be hating, it's always go Browns.